welcome back. We just got swallowed by the void, and Zelda is on her way to save us. But while we're here, let's recover and have a chat. With me today, I have Brad, the spirit of the hero.
Ooh, I like that. Hello, everybody.
And me, I am Hunter, and I am also here. And The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom is right around the corner, September 26th, which I think by the time that this episode goes live is like 2 weeks. It's 3 weeks from now at the time of recording. This getting very, very close to a brand new Zelda game.
Yeah, I'm happy to see another one come before the next whatever console's coming out.
Yeah,
it's a pleasant surprise, and as well as playing as Zelda herself. So
yeah,
last time we did that, unless it's a Hyrule Warriors game, I'm not counting that.
Right.
It was probably the CDI games, and I don't know how much we want to get into those.
The Wand of Gamelon, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is basically Zelda's first like proper top-down 2D Zelda game. You know, like this is the first time that we're playing as Zelda in like a more like actual traditional Zelda game, at least.
Like, a whole game to herself.
Yeah, with actual puzzles and stuff like that. So rather than just hitting people and whatever the CDI games were. But thankfully, now that we're only like a few weeks away from it, we've actually got a lot of really good information about it now, just around this game in general. So I figured that we'll go ahead and take a look at everything that we know about Echoes of Wisdom. And I think that we'll probably start with just the first trailer. It's probably a good way to start.
I like the and we're watching it, but I like the way that it started. Is kind of a Mont Bailey of, hey, look, you're playing as Link. Look at all the normal Zelda stuff that you're going to be doing. A whole new game, and well, never mind.
Yeah,
let's throw the twist in.
I kind of could tell that this wasn't actual gameplay, though. It like looks too robotic and mechanical, or something. Like it looks like gameplay, but it's clearly not. It's just a cutscene.
Mm-hmm.
I also like it looks like the most traditional way that you fight Ganon. Like with that same like ping pong with the or what's the Dead Man's Volley or whatever, with you're hitting the orbs back and forth.
Yeah,
like
it basically every game that's a feature of fighting Ganondorf or Ganon. Well, either one.
Yeah,
Ganondorf did it too.
Which actually, this is interesting. Is that this game obviously takes a lot of inspiration from the Nintendo Switch version of Link's Awakening with the art style and all that, but also that's the only version of Ganon that has a trident with two ends. That's a staff with two ends or a trident.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that version of Ganon here. So it's like literally the Link's Awakening version of Ganon is in this game, which is strange because we know from the story later on in the trailer that can't be the case. But for like a future trailer, actually, that can't be the case. But it's just interesting that like that is that version of Ganon. Like this takes a lot of inspiration from Link's Awakening, not just the art style.
Yeah,
it's interesting. And then Ganon dies or something. We see the same effect happen later in a future trailer, and that wasn't that character dying. So I don't know what is going on here.
Maybe it's a clone Ganon.
Which is kind of how it worked in Link's Awakening too, actually. It wasn't actually Ganon. It was a clone shadow memory version of Ganon. So it could be very similar kind of story setup.
Yeah. And then Link being Link, the bad stuff starts happening, and he's still playing the hero even in his own demise.
Yeah. It's interesting that like this kind of like dimension fracturing shift thing happens from Ganon's trident. I don't know if this trident is special or something, but it's just interesting. We see specifically that cloak, his cloak that he was wearing before, like earlier in the corner there, which I think becomes important in a second. The trident falls through this thing, and then his
Link's still playing the hero.
Yeah, his last act of bravery before he falls into the abyss. This bow and arrow is new. I don't think that we've ever seen this bow and arrow. Kind of looks like the ones from Tears of the Kingdom, honestly, the Zonai ones. But
Yeah.
I don't think that that's actually anything, but just interesting. I don't think that we've ever seen that bow before. It has the Zonai swirls on it, so
It
I don't know.
also looks somewhat similar to the hilt of Link's sword, which is not, at
Oh
least to me, it
yeah,
doesn't look like the Master Sword. It's a different kind of sword. If you back up, or if we see it later, the sword's not doesn't look like the Master Sword.
yeah, you're right. And it has that same swirly kind of thing too.
Yeah.
That's a
So
good
it's a
catch.
newer weapon.
Yeah, Link doesn't usually start with the Master Sword, anyways.
No.
But
Well, I mean, if we're assuming that this is the end of this his little quest that we're not doing in this
yeah,
game because of Zelda's quest, you would think he'd have the Master Sword, but
yeah,
turns out he doesn't. I know some games it's not always the Master Sword. Sometimes it's the Four Sword or other
yeah.
swords, but
Link just had an entire adventure off screen,
yeah.
basically.
Yeah,
It's
this game
funny.
is literally the end of another game we're probably never really going to play.
Yeah. As he saves Zelda, this is our first time seeing Zelda in this art style, which is kind of cool.
Very chibi, almost Lego-esque.
Yeah. Presumably, she collects Link's hood on her way out here, but it kind of cuts away because we see her wearing it later. And then it stops. It just kind of stops, which is interesting. We see in future trailers this kind of like force kind of spreading,
Mm-hmm.
or like just kind of like different rifts throughout the world. So that, I don't know, it's just interesting, like seeing it like stop, like it has a radius that it's allowed to go to. I don't know if that's some kind of lore thing or some kind of gameplay thing where it spreads the more story you play or something. I don't know. And this map looks very similar to the map from Link Between Worlds, or
Yeah.
Link to the Past, more specifically, I should say. The layout is similar, and we'll get to some other map comparisons in a little
Yeah,
bit. But
there's some I'm gonna say map shenanigans, but there's some insight that some people have offered
yeah,
as to the layout of this world.
yeah. So you can already see some like this is already like a created like pretty late into development version of the map because this seems already functional. They removed all the
Yeah.
enemies from it, but like this seems pretty late into development when they got this shot. Which, to be fair, this is only a few months ago and the game is launching, so yeah, it probably already was in beta or something. But we already see like bombable walls and stuff, like
Mm-hmm.
in that corner here. So like this is like already basically a completed version. Um, it seems already have stairs and like other like height adjustment features, some caves and stuff. So it's already like a completed version.
And there's the
Aonuma.
man, the myth, the legend himself.
It's so interesting how so many people in within Nintendo, like Miyamoto and stuff, Iwata kind of like was starting to show his age. Like you can see them get older.
Yeah.
Aonuma just looks better every time we see him.
He has aged into grace.
Yeah, he's a good looking guy for like 70 or 80 or whatever. He looks like he's gotten
Yeah,
younger.
I was gonna say he looks like he's in his mid to late 50s, not
Yeah.
60s, 70s.
Yeah. Also, it's interesting. They're using the same like broken Zelda logo that was from they used in
Breath of the Wild.
in Breath of the
And
Wild. Tears of the Kingdom used it, but also the Link's Awakening used it. They just had like a little palm tree growing out of it instead of the flower. But they're sticking with this. This is just like the new Zelda logo from now on. We've 4 games in now.
yeah, this is the new Zelda era.
Yeah. Looking at the map, and then the Hyrule guards, I guess, see her.
Actually notice her
Yeah,
doing their job.
yeah. They bow. I don't have the audio on, but thankfully this is one of the few videos that Nintendo did allow captions, so we can at least can hear some of it or see what they're talking about.
And in some of the other trailers we'll eventually get into and look at, I think you might be right that the glow is going to increasingly take over the world.
Yeah,
Just based on some of the other trailers, there's a shot of the king getting absorbed by
yeah,
all this. I mean, not really. It's not really goop, just void.
Yeah, void alternate dimension thing.
Yeah, and I'm assuming that that instance obviously happens after Link gets taken.
Yes, probably.
It would be weird the other way around.
Yeah. And it's interesting like seeing this because specifically with it being on a house and
Mm-hmm.
a guard being stationed right next to it and people like looking at it, they're trying to draw attention to this area once you first walk into this castle settlement or whatever, castle town presumably,
Yeah,
with the fountain and all that. Looks like castle town. Like the fact that like they're drawing attention to their rift being on this house in particular makes me think that okay, this is something that this is a house you're going to be able to unlock later, and that it is going to be a gamified thing. We're going to be able to like do quests or something and then kind of seal or unseal or whatever, like kind of fix the rifts in the world.
yeah.
Which,
Restore it through beating a boss or an item to
yeah.
engage with the overworld.
So maybe this is some sort of like dojo or item shop or mini game or something. Zelda tends to like all three of those things in their games being unlockable things. So like that, like to me, like that's what this says. Like the fact that they're drawing so much attention to that in gameplay, like not just in the trailer, but also in gameplay. Like the fact that you're running around, there are these people. Eye line is like literally directly pointing at it.
It's probably their house.
Shiny, maybe it might be their house, but like a shiny like helmet, kind of like little like ding brightness, kind of like a glow, like hey, pay attention to this house, side quest or something. Yeah, just some other parts.
Which we also find out later that they're reintroducing, like trackable side quests.
Yeah, it's also just interesting. We see these little huts. We get an idea of what these huts are for later, but that's cool. And then just people getting swallowed. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, they show this off also again later, but that she is turning to stone going into the void. And we were actually talking about this earlier. It reminds me a lot of the Subspace Emissary and the story going on in there.
And Brawl.
Everybody turning to trophies.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, this is kind of like horrifying. Link being sucked in. We actually get to see some of the dimension. Like before, like for the most part, at least in this cutscene, because it's a cutscene. But for the most part, it's just kind of like a shader. You just get to see like some sparkles and stuff. But in this cutscene, you can literally see stuff floating, so it looks more like an actual rift and not just goo.
Yeah, it looks like space.
Yeah.
Just actual space on the ground.
Then we get introduced to a new character.
Woo!
A new fairy.
The new talking sprite.
Yeah. Which the lore implications of this fairy being called Tri and having 3 triangles trailing behind her is just really interesting to me. Like literally the Triforce or something. Like maybe the Echoes of Wisdom is just like the personification of the Triforce. Yeah, and then in older games you can see like the individual triangles being like broken into smaller pieces. Is that what these little pieces trailing behind her are? The lore implications around Tri are really interesting to me.
And if those indeed are the Triforce, that would make Zelda quite the powerhouse to be already already have the full Triforce at
well, okay. In the future, we see Tri with even more than 3 triangles.
Oh, okay.
So I'm thinking that these are just pieces of the Triforce of Wisdom. So there are other games where like the Triforce gets broken down into smaller pieces. So like you're just recreating the Triforce of Wisdom and the Triforce of Power and the Triforce of Courage with these like even smaller triangles. So to me, that's what this is.
Yeah, the original game had you doing that. Actually from the ground up rebuilding the Triforce. So yeah, you're probably right on that.
This is like the Triforce, the fragment, like the soul of the Triforce of Wisdom, but only has like some fragments, kind of, and then you get more fragments throughout the game. But this is like the main mechanic. Basically, you get Tri and the Tri Rod, and she's wearing the cloak that Link was wearing earlier, which is cute. And these 2 guards are just kind of watching her. We see her fighting guards later, like Hyrule guards, which is interesting.
Yeah, and she was in jail in that previous scene. So I'm assuming and I think this was already stated, but maybe not. The blame gets put on her for the state of the Hyrule.
Yeah, maybe this is later in the story. She clears up the confusion or something. Like I don't know. It's interesting. Also, we
I'm
see
thinking,
4 shadows behind Tri, so this is later in the game. She already collected another fragment or something.
yeah,
Yeah, we see the 4 pieces right there. So this is presumably later in the game. I don't know. And this is
the
main
new mechanic.
Yeah, you can copy stuff. At first, when I saw this, I was a little weirded out because I was like, okay, so then it's not like an actual Zelda, like doing combat, magical adventure. But I've come around to it. Like it is a true Zelda game.
Yeah, it's still Nintendo being Nintendo, trying to make things innovative.
Yeah,
And as especially in the later trailers when they actually show you it doesn't make sense in the overworld because it looks out of place, just plopping random objects to interact with the world.
yeah,
But when you go into the actual, and you'll see this, when you go into the actual underworld or the void world,
mm-hmm.
there's so many sporadic stuff in there anyway that it
Yeah.
makes more sense that you're able to just randomly and sporadically put stuff to help you out.
These do despawn after some time, it seems. So, in case you missed it, like Tri has 4 pieces here, and then now the 1 piece is on this thing that Zelda just created, and then so now she has 3 pieces left. She creates another one. Now Tri only has 2. So you have like a gauge like how much you can actually use.
Yeah.
So you can like create like 4 things that cost 1 each, and then in the future we see some stuff that costs 2 or 3 even. Fragments or something, and then after some time they despawn, or they despawn once you use
more than
more
4,
than you have.
However many you have.
Yeah. So some creative puzzle solving, and then so she just used 3, and she has 1 here, but presumably in a little bit, like those will despawn. She'll have all 4 back again. And just copying everything. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna run around the map, just copying everything, like water blocks, and just as much as I possibly can.
It's very Minecrafty.
Yeah, and I just like the really creative, puzzly solutions. Like we see in a different trailer a different way to get up this exact same wall.
Yeah,
it's just cool to see. Like there are a bunch of ways to solve the problem.
And would you look at that? They even borrowed some more UI elements from Breath of the Wild with the little water wheel.
Oh, the water wheel. Also, like this little thing in
Yeah.
the corner here, like the hearts being in the corner too. Yeah, it's funny. We also see this guy. We saw this guy early in the trailer. His friend got ate by the abyss. So maybe maybe we talk to him. Oh no, that's a different guy.
Oh no, that's a different guy.
Okay, he looks similar. My bad. I'm just racist against Hylians.
He had to wear a different hat.
Yeah. Some cool.
Guess that's one way of doing it.
Yeah. That's a better way to do it.
There's another way of doing it.
Yeah.
I like that you can actually use the beds to sleep too.
Yeah. Also, this is cool. Like, this is the first time seeing Gerudo in a 2D game.
It's also the first time you're actually probably going to be allowed into it naturally.
Yeah, because you're a girl. So it's confusing to me why Zelda needs to sneak in or whatever. Like, maybe this isn't her sneaking in to Gerudo Town. Maybe this is just a callback to when you've needed to sneak in before. But, like, it's just watching her get in this way is just interesting. But, like, she doesn't have to sneak in. She's a girl. So to be fine.
I'm wondering if the dev's just showing off.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And you get the point. You're sneaking into Gerudo Town. Kind of, I don't know, callback. Some interesting UI stuff here. This is also just borrowed straight out of Breath of the Wild. This little like glowing like circle around a point.
Probably the main quest marker.
Yeah, something like that. And then this looks like a teleport point or something. We see those later.
Yeah. Later on, those are going to be like the fast travel points.
Yeah. Some enemies, which this is my main concern or confusion, was like how combat would work. But it looks like it's good enough. Copying enemies is hilarious to me.
It reminds me of like the Dragon Quest side games.
Yeah.
Where you use all the monsters that you fought along the way.
Mm-hmm. This is cool. Like just different ways to fight enemies. It's very Breath of
Yeah,
the Wild too. Like this, like dropping some meat down to like distract them, and then like while they're distracted, doing an attack. Like this just feels very
planting a
Breath of the Wild.
trap.
Yeah, it's like you're not hitting things with your sword, but you're still fighting them. Like kind of Breath of the Wildy kind of combat. Is just interesting. Combat as a puzzle.
In Breath of the Wild, they really wanted you to go outside the box to fight enemies. That's partially why they gave you all the magic stuff in an interactable world, like rolling boulders down cliffs or whatnot.
Yeah.
In this one, they're like, you know what? Now we really want you to think outside the box. We're not going to give you a weapon.
Yeah.
Or at the very least,
not
a long-term weapon.
Yeah. Also, for a top-down game, this kind of like timed auto-scrolling sequence is really strange to me. Like, but it also, I do like the idea of like having the drama of needing to solve puzzles in real time, like quickly, or else you're about to get like devoured. It's kind of cool.
It's not as bad as like, it reminds me of like Crash Bandicoot. It's not as bad as that. Those running away from the boulders in Crash Bandicoot were always the worst because you had to react to what you were doing. You couldn't see ahead.
Yeah.
More often than not, it came into, did you know the level before you entered the level, whether or not you were going to succeed?
Yeah. It's better than that, at least. But it's just interesting because you can only walk one speed. And it seems to be catching up to her pretty quickly.
Pretty fast.
But this is cool. This just like blows the map wide open.
I know. Just the fact, like, normally especially in like Pokemon games, but like in a lot of older games, they'd always use trees as essentially being the out of bounds, right?
Yeah. Like
you can't go beyond there unless you're hacking with Game Shark. But in this game, you can actually do that. It just kind of feels uncanny.
Yeah. It's like you're meant to do this. You don't need an action replay. It's just cool. And then we get to see more about how these like automaton things work in a little bit. But this is also a way to fight. You don't need to use Triforce things. You can just attack in other ways. It's kind of cool. This is straight out of Breath of the Wild. The glider. But it's a bird. Mm-hmm. That's cool. Okay, and then this...
Is that Impa or is that... Okay, yeah, that...
This, I think, is Robbie. It feels very Sheikah with some, like, Sheikah script things in the corner here. This is just straight out of Breath of the Wild. I actually meant to pull up a picture of, like, the lamps from Breath of the Wild. But this is a cartoon version of the lamps in Breath of the Wild. Has the exact same thing. Like, this is... They pulled this asset, squished it a bit, and then put it in this game. This guy's a Sheikah.
Yeah. 100%.
And he's an inventor. He has the Sheikah hat. He's a Sheikah. He's a Sheikah inventor. I think it's Robbie. He's wearing glasses. It's Robbie, I think. I think that's Robbie.
It's Robbie or Robbie adjacent.
Yeah, the idea is it's Robbie, even if he's not named Robbie. But like I think that just like how Tingle and Beetle and apparently Dompe and like a bunch of other non-Zelda Link Ganondorf characters are reincarnated over and over. I think that just Robbie is one of them now.
Yeah, I think that is... Well, it's going to be Robbie. It's not going to be Breath of the Wild Robbie, but it's going to be Robbie. Like, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah. Even if his name isn't Robbie, you get the idea of a Sheikah inventor. That's just cool. We get to see, like Robbie, basically. And, like, a more... Presumably, this isn't just, like, you meeting him. This is, like, a story moment or something. But also, the fact that it's mechanical and he's an inventor makes me think that this has some sort of gameplay... like elements to it too, like he's got some bottles behind it. I don't know, I'm just... Something about this is like, why have an assistant and all of this, like, if it's more than just like some side quests or something.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, there's gonna be some things in the future trailers where items and inventions can be made.
Yeah,
to also aid in your journey.
Exactly. Maybe he upgrades stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, but probably. It's definitely something.
Yeah, why put it in the trailer if it wasn't important, I guess. But yeah, that's cool. A Sheikah woman is attacking, probably Impa.
Assumedly an old Impa.
Yeah, it's probably Impa. Just a reoccurring character that is like kind of Zelda's attendant or something. Like just kind of, Anyways. This is also interesting lore.
Yeah, this was actually really interesting for me to see. You see the old style Zoras on the left, and then the more modern on the right,
Hmm.
and I know you pointed out before that the them together have been in other games,
Yeah.
or have they been in other games? That them both of these designs together.
Yes, they were in the Oracle games, I
Yeah,
believe. So
so
yeah.
it's just it's nice to see some love for the old designs, despite
Mhm.
them being a little bit uglier.
Yeah. Just having that. So in Hyrule Historia, I think, or the Compendium, or one of those books, it draws attention to the fact that there is a difference between saltwater and freshwater Zora. So these guys being the freshwater variety, I think, and then these guys being the saltwater variety. I might have that reversed, doesn't matter. But at least in this case, it's like Ocean Zora versus like River Zora at the very least. And
Yeah.
yeah, so there's some sort of feud going on here between the king and queen. Interesting seeing these two styles together. They each have like a little attendant. The art style for this is very reminiscent of the beta art for Sidon, actually, which actually appeared in an early Breath of the Wild trailer, like a version of Sidon that was like this grayish blue. And in Masterworks, we also see like the gray blue like version of Sidon that they were going for just before they changed it to red, like really late in development. But all the concept art for him was this color. So they're bringing back that idea of like a royal family member having this color Zora. I don't know. It's just interesting. Also, this is very very Breath of the Wild too. This guy kind of looks like a shark, and this guy kind of looks like an octopus.
Yeah.
Like
I
different.
I I
Yeah.
like that's how they're differentiating the Zora, is they're just
Hmm.
kind of laying into the more sea creatures and just kind of incorporating that. It's better than what they did, back in the N64 era, even some of Wind Waker. Well, Wind Waker didn't have Zora, if I remember.
Uh, yes, that's correct. It had
Yeah,
a.
it had the Rito,
It
but
showed an ancestor of one of the Rito, which was a Zora for a second, like the ghost or something of it. But yeah, that was it.
okay, a side tangent. That's kind of really weird that for some reason the Zora, like, over the course of time turned into the Rito, despite the fact that now they have even more land because the world's
Yeah,
covered in water.
yeah. You would think that though that water overtaking the world would make
Would
them
actually
more.
benefit the Zora more than
Yeah,
detrimenting it. But
especially
whatever.
since I thought that the fishy looking ones were supposed to be the saltwater Zora. I might have that
Yeah,
reversed, but whatever. Okay.
I know it switched because again, I think we talked about this before starting, but the Ocarina of Time Zoras were freshwater Zoras, and they looked like
Yeah.
more like those ones.
Yeah. It's
And then the
they play.
Majora's Mask, they made them the sea salt ones.
Yeah, which is the game right afterward.
Yeah.
So they play fast and loose with it. Don't pay attention to the Hyrule story. It's mostly canon, but it's whatever.
It's mostly canon with quick nudge nudge,
Yeah, it's
with
fine.
enough flexibility to do what we want.
And in certain games it's canon, in other games it's not. Zelda lore changes depending on the game sometimes, so whatever.
It's getting dangerously close to Dragon Ball Z levels of lore.
Yeah, you pick your own canon. It's fine. Um, yeah, it's canon. Whatever game that you're currently playing, that is
That's the
canon.
canon.
Yes.
That's the canon.
But anyways, it's just cool to see like some kind of royal feud between different Zoras. It's just interesting. These guys,
I'm
Majora's
I'm really
Mask.
glad to see them coming back. He even looks like he belongs in the N64 games.
Yeah, he does. Yes, similar kind of cartoony. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I think it's awesome. It's kind of weird seeing him with like some high tech stuff. Like he has like a digital screen right here, but he's got
Is
like
that digital?
I think so.
I think that's just a wood thing.
Oh,
I
I
think
thought it
it's
was
just a
like
wood
an
sign.
animated like thing.
Does it change?
No, maybe you're right.
It'd be
Okay.
weird if he was the one with technology too,
Yeah. Considering
being a
he's
forest guy.
yeah, forest guy's building stuff out of wood and roping his hair leaves together and like roping this invention, but like he has like a digital display.
He has an iPad.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. Actually, I think you're right. That's just a wood plank. I'm wrong. Anyways, that's cool to see those guys returning. Great Deku Tree.
Oh, and you know what? My appreciation. It's really weird. like despite it being more of like a Link's Awakening sort of art style, there is a lot of love for like the N64 sort of art style stuff too.
Yeah.
Because that is straight up the Deku Tree from N64.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
Ocarina of Time, and same for the Business Scrub.
Yeah.
So they're they're throwing in all this little eye candy for us older folk now.
Yeah. Like, you get the point. Like, yeah, this is the Deku Tree. It does call into question which Deku Tree there is, because there's like 3 canonically, I think. So like, or like arguably 2 if the one from Breath of the Wild is the one from Wind Waker or something. I don't know. But
the one from Wind Waker is definitely the offspring of the one from the N64.
Yes,
like
that is the
guy.
Ocarina of Time one, and then because it died, and then that is the offspring. So it becomes its own one, and then presumably that's the same one from Breath of the Wild. It grows into a whole tree, or maybe the Breath of the Wild one is different. But this one looks like
it looks like, and is like, I'm gonna say it straight up looks the same as the Ocarina one.
Yeah, I am hesitant to give this an actual timeline placement right now, and we don't need to go into that. We don't have enough information. The game's not out yet, but
yeah.
It looks like Ocarina's, at least, which died in Ocarina. So I don't know. Some underwater segments.
Some very Mario-esque, 2D Mario-esque segment.
Mm-hmm. Which was the same way in like Link's Awakening and stuff too. They used I don't know. They did some interesting stuff. We get to know what boss this is in a little bit. This like stone guy. It's a Talus. But this is an interesting take on a Talus enemy, I guess.
It's like a little Sheikah icon in the back, like the eye. Maybe it's not Sheikah, maybe it is, but it kind of is.
Kind of. I see what you're talking about, yeah. Interesting. The Sheikah are in this game, so yeah. And that was basically it. Aonuma talks about what we just saw. This is cool. Creating spiders and then climbing on the things. Or Skulltulas or whatever.
Yeah.
A little bit more footage. It's just cool. This very Breath of the Wild, like the physics, like the elemental effects and stuff, like burning. This is very Breath of the Wild. It takes a lot of inspiration from Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. The water effects are a little weird, though. They're just blocked waters.
Yeah, a little bit. But I mean, that's still... I don't know. It's just cool, the fact that you can do that.
Yeah, it's meant for puzzles.
Yeah. Taking a Redead is just awesome to me. Like, stunning the other like enemies. It costs 3, which is a lot. But that's just cool to me. Using Redead.
If it can stun all the enemies, that actually might be... That'll probably be worth it.
It's kind of worth it, yeah. Yeah. They're attacking, but it doesn't matter. It's a Redead. Those things are bullet sponges. We get the official art, which is kind of cool. Octoroks, I don't think that we saw that. Some treasure chests. Treasure. Yeah, like you have to figure out puzzly how to get the treasures out, probably. We see these guys later in
and those trailers. Guys are also from the N64
era. Yeah. It's cool. It's just interesting. Get a lot of stuff. We see another I guess box art like artwork later on that has a Lionel in it too. Toy Link here, and that's not. Oh no, it is the Hyrule Quest. That's just the castle behind it. Never mind. But Ganon is all shadowy.
So is Link.
To your point, yeah, he's kind of got that purple glow around him too. But you were talking earlier about how that might not be actual Ganon. Might be like a weird kind of shadow version of Ganon. That this seems to corroborate that.
One other thing that I like to see that's classic Zelda is the heart container. The item.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that you get in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, but more as like an item that you get from the...
And they're the little orbs.
Praying. Yeah, and it'll actually give you the whole thing. These ones, it looks like it's going to be the, collect 4, and then you get a level up to your health.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that. It's a good exploration reward, and puzzle reward.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see its return.
No, definitely. This also just shows off some map elements. Like we have Death Mountain in the background. We have some kind of icy mountain on the other side. Just interesting. We're showing like seeing the world kind of. I like how they kept kind of like the blocky parts of the world. Like it still looks like a game in this, you know?
Very, very much. And it's also very vertically oriented, despite it being like an overhead view, isometric game.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's interesting. And that is the first trailer. Oh, also, they're coming out with this, which is interesting. So late in the Switch's lifespan. Life cycle.
Hey, at the rate in which I bought 3DSs, I bought every single one. If they're going to throw out another one, another addition to a console, there's going to be people that get it. So why not?
I might get this one just because of how beautiful it looks. It's $200. Like, I mean, this is a really cool Switch Lite. I don't own a Switch Lite.
Oh, you don't have a Switch Lite?
No. I only have the OLED now. And my girlfriend's Animal Crossing Switch. But I did the unboxing for my OLED on the channel. The Zelda Switch. But also, like, this is just really cool. Oh, man, the Hyrule crest has the logos, the Triforces in it. This is so cool.
It's also not even specific to this game. It's just a general Zelda Switch.
Yeah. It's not like a specifically, it has like little toy link or something on it. Yeah. No, this is cool. It's just weird. Like we have confirmed news that we're about to get the Switch 2 like announcement at some point during a Q2 or something of next year, or Q1 or Q2 of next year. So, but they're still releasing new versions of the Switch. It's interesting.
Yeah,
but that's cool. And that's
that first trailer did a very good job showcasing everything, kind of introducing us to the world, introducing to us what makes this game tick. The subsequent trailers are actually going to show off at least a good chunk more that is also somewhat interesting and kind of leans into the exploration of the game. Yeah. And probably even some customization aspects too.
Yeah, so this is the next trailer that we got from it. The Traversing Hyrule trailer. Kind of cool. Some story segments, kind of. Like, I don't know. Show us tour of Hyrule. See the large map again. Some just different areas within Hyrule. We see that same, like, house that was being kind of
consumed,
eaten or something. Yeah. So this is Castletown, just presumably. Oh yeah, Castletown. Literally said Castletown. Same overhead shot that we saw in the last trailer, and now we're getting to some new stuff. Some enemies that are in the ground, which we like Molduga type enemies, probably. Smaller Moldugas or something.
Or if we're running into that N64 theme, there are those little, what look to be like little cactus things that come up and spin around and attack you in the desert.
Yeah, something like that maybe. And then looks like there might be some weather effects, just like Breath of the Wild, because she seems hot and being in the desert. Sandstorms. Gerudo Town, which is just so cool seeing Gerudo in 2D. Mm-hmm.
It's very similar to the Breath of the Wild one.
Yeah. Even though the text boxes look very Breath of the Wild.
Very
don't know.
Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
They definitely have a theme that they're sticking for this foreseeable future.
Yeah.
There's the Tektites.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming Tektites.
Presumably. Look how surprised that woman.
I think that's so funny that you can just do that. I wonder if that's an actual mechanic or if that's just something funny that they're going to put in. Like if it's nighttime, like day and night mechanic.
Maybe. We do see some nighttime shots later. I like how her eyes. Like, she's like, what? She's never seen this before.
Excuse me?
You can just
witchcraft in my town?
Yeah. And it's like a little oasis thing, probably like the Karakara Bazaar or whatever it's called in Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, the town right before the Gerudo Town.
Yeah, and like you see some traders here and stuff too, so you can presumably like buy fruit or whatever for smoothies, which is a mechanic apparently. Yeah, just sleeping in the middle of the like air, open air.
More Tektite.
Mm-hmm. Talking to some swimming Zora. So swimming in the game, you don't usually get to swim in Zelda games, so that's cool.
Yeah, especially these top-down ones.
Yeah, and she's not even wearing like a Zora tunic or anything. She's just wearing her regular hood, like Link's hood.
She might need to put on something if she starts diving. But then again,
Probably,
there were
yeah.
other scenes that we saw in the previous trailer where she wasn't wearing anything in specific, but still swimming in it.
2D segment, yeah. Yeah. I don't know what the deal is. I'm impressed you were able to swim all the way here. Yeah, so am I. Then so you were just in the like kind of modern Zora. You were talking to like a new age Zora, and now you're talking to like a old Zora. So okay, so this is the little huts that we saw earlier. So this is these guys' freshwater, presumably, or something, Zora huts and little item shop and everything. I like the little banjo or whatever. Kind of like the bayou kind of vibes.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to play that up like this is the more backcountry Zoras, and then the other Zoras are going to be all high-minded and be mean to each other that way.
We go on Gatoring.
Yeah, like that.
Kind of like the Great Divide episode of Avatar. You have like the savages, and then you have like the super like uppity kind
pompous.
Of yeah, something like that probably. Welcome to the River Zora village. So yeah, these guys are the freshwater variety, I guess. River Zora and Ocean Zora, I guess. I don't know. Jabul waters, like so Jabu Jabu kind of theme.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And yeah, so saltwater, these guys have like coral reefs and stuff. Yeah, okay. But then it's still in rivers, and we haven't seen an ocean. Saltwater rivers.
I was going to say, where we saw them, that didn't look like an ocean to me.
Yeah,
it just looked like a lake.
This sure doesn't look like an ocean, and there's coral, so I don't know. Some kelp, which grows in saltwater. Whatever. Just ignore it.
Sure.
Play fast and loose. I like, again, sticking with the theme of different kind of Zoras. These guys don't have the fins, so this guy is a shark. Just different kinds of Zoras. I like it. How dare you? This guy's name is Drad, is the king, I guess, of the River Zora. These guys, I like these guys.
I forget which game those guys were from, but I do remember them.
Yeah, some wall climbing segments of the game. So different kind of like, it's not just going to be that you have to find like weird ways like spawn water blocks or whatever to climb. There's going to be like other ways of traversing, because these look like things you can just climb or something. Or maybe you can spawn in an enemy that can climb these walls, and then you use that to move around. I don't know. Some kind of like puzzle to this. It's like a meteor or something there. So this is like Elden Volcano, so not Death Mountain, but you get the point.
Isn't Elden Volcano, isn't that more of a Twilight Princess area?
Yeah, I think that's when the name Elden kind of became a thing, I think, unless that showed up in earlier games that I'm not aware of. The Elden region.
Yeah, so maybe Death Mountain is, well, I know they saw Death Mountain, unless they're just calling it Elden Volcano.
Yeah, I think that's the case. I think it's just Elden Volcano, that's the name of it.
All right.
Different names, same thing, same geological feature or something, presumably. But yeah, this is like a little settlement, a little Hyrulean settlement below the volcano. So, aka like the Kakariko village or something like that.
Yeah, at least the N64 era had Kakariko Village at the base of the mountain.
Something that I think was interesting was that like Nintendo used auto captions for this. They didn't write their own captions because just you can see like the Kakariko being like misspelled. The Kakariko Village.
Rico Village is fine, which is a Sunshine Village, but
Kakariko Village is just funny. They didn't even bother writing, like copy pasting their own script into the video, like in the YouTube editor kind of like creator studio thing. You can do that.
I know it's annoying, but you are also a multi-million or billion-dollar company.
Also, like,
you could at least put in your script into your video.
For a podcast, like, we use auto captions because I'm not going to type down everything, but they had a script. This is recorded, and then just let the AI decide where the words are. But I don't know. It's just funny. You'll have to brave treacherous trails. Why is brave capitalized? I don't know. It's funny. But Gorons, that's cool.
Yeah.
More industrious. We see like steam coming out of these things. Like this guy's haircut.
And the rock candy meat is
rock roast.
Is coming back. Yeah.
Yeah, from Tears of the Kingdom, specifically of the rock roast. It's kind of cool.
Were they not there in the original Breath of the Wild?
I forget.
I thought they were.
You could. They mentioned eating rocks. I think you can make some rock dishes and stuff, but I don't know if they were called rock roasts.
Okay.
But yeah, I might be wrong about that. Fair and wetlands. This is the kind of the more bayou or something. But although I guess this is more of the what are these guys called again? We just called
the Decus.
The Decus. Thank you. The Decus. Deku Land or something.
Yeah, they're returning, but not all of them are going to be bad. They're actually going to come back and be good guys,
which is cool. We see another teleport point right here. So this is like a town or something with
the
an
teleport
NPC.
points look like anthills.
Yeah, kinda. Yeah, there's whole quests involving them. It's cute little kids, like the mohawk. And then, of course, I'm assuming this is the stereotypical like.
Side quest, go get the chickens.
Yeah, bok bok. This clearly for the Cuckoos. Like, bok bok, come back.
Is she gonna give me a glass of milk for my troubles?
Yeah, throw them into this pen. Pretty obvious what's going on here. All the torches have gone out. So another like kind of puzzly thing, like just like the Cuckoos, like in the side questy thing, probably. And again, this is totally Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. Don't break don't fix what isn't broken.
Yeah, just even the UI just completely lifted.
Same thing.
The side quest. Okay, this is new, I guess. The blue dots instead of yellow dots. But that's literally just a color shift. It's the same broken circle.
I thought Tears of the Kingdom had those differentiations.
Oh, did it?
Maybe it didn't. I'm
the
not
different
sure.
colors?
I thought so, but I could be wrong. I could be misthinking it.
Okay. All right. Either way.
Either way, I'm glad they started adopting this. Honestly, it's kind of a staple in most modern games, just identifying side and main quests. They really started it with the Majora's Mask 3D.
Yeah.
Which I appreciated very much, specifically for that game, because everything was timed.
The bomber's notes and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, she has more hearts here.
She has 5.
Man, even the font is
it's the same. It's the same.
Anyways, this is interesting. We see like a little poster in the background of Zelda, like a wanted poster. We can't really see what that says.
It's done in the art style, one, that's not very flattering. But also, 2, that looks much more like the Link. Is it Link's? Not Link's Awakening. The one where he can go flat up against the wall.
Link Between Worlds.
A Link Between Worlds.
Yeah. Yeah, it is kind of Link Between Worlds. Like, it's also interesting seeing like a wanted poster for Zelda here because we know that she is thrown in a dungeon at some point. Yeah. Even though she seems cool with the Hyrule guards, but then also fights Hyrule guards in other trailers. So it's just weird. Like some kind of like at some point Zelda is on the run from the Hyrule guards, and then at other points she's cool with the Hyrule guards. So I don't know.
Here's my guess on what that is. It's going to be basically Super Mario Sunshine, where at the beginning of the game they're all mad at you, but then you agree to clean up the mess, and then they're not mad at you.
Okay.
That's essential. I think that's what'll happen.
I was thinking maybe they're corrupted or something. Like
I don't think I saw any gross corrupty things around.
Yeah,
maybe I'm wrong, but
I don't know. We'll have to see once we actually play the game in like 2 weeks. But yeah, this quest log.
It is just Breath of the Wild.
It's Breath of the Wild UI. Yeah, no, I think this is new to this game. I don't feel like I remember seeing this little glowing orb, a blue glowing orb at least in Tears of the King. Oh, maybe I do. I don't know. Don't listen to me. Some side quests. Literally, even like
the little exclamation point was very much Breath of the Wild.
With this little, I'm pretty sure there's like the exact same little speech bubble. Even like, it's Breath of the Wild UI. Tornado ghosts. The glider. So you get this is presumably when you get your own glider instead of like using enemies or something. Maybe. Little Goron kid. Have you seen a Zol? Is that an enemy? Zol.
It's capitalized. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Okay. Jelly-like enemies. Ooh. These guys are Zols.
Okay. Essentially a slime. But
yeah. Okay.
Is that what they were in Majora's Mask? Those guys that kept jumping around in the main field?
Those were... I thought that they were choo-choos. But I don't know. Either way, this is probably some kind of quest where you copy the enemy and then show them to this guy. So like you learn how to copy a Zol with the Tri-Rod, and then you create a Zol for him to see, and then you get a point or whatever, and then I'm assuming this is going to be a reoccurring thing. You're going to have to keep coming back with different enemies or something.
I even think they show you that in this trailer. Zelda comes back and drops the slime right in front.
Yeah. Also, it's just interesting. This guy is looking Zelda straight into, like, right in her face, but there's a wanted poster right next to him.
That's or maybe, just some cognitive dissonance.
Yeah, or maybe this is like the cloak masks her identity or something. So that's why she wears that. That could be the benefit of wearing this cloak. Maybe
Superman's glasses, just Link's hood.
Yeah. Also, dog. This is the first time seeing dogs in this art style. They weren't in Link's Awakening. This is just cute little dog.
Well, I hope Nintendo did the good thing and allowed you to pet the dogs.
I hope so. Wagging his tail. Yeah. That's it.
He's like standing like a villager in Animal Crossing.
Yeah, with the eyes and everything. Oh, same like animation
and, like,
too.
Swaying back and forth.
Yeah. Travel.
And here's fast traveling.
So yeah, these totally are like fast travel points.
I wonder if they serve any other function outside of that. Because I mean, in the in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, the fast travel points were also like dungeons. Mm-hmm. But obviously, I don't think these are going to be dungeons. But they kind of look really funky.
Yeah,
to just be like fast travel locations. If that's all it is.
To me, it kind of looked like the hint stones or something. Like the fact that it says check and not activate or something, to me, it feels like that there's something else to them. Personally, I thought that they looked a lot like the... Did you play Pikmin 4?
No.
Okay. In the night mode of Pikmin 4, there were these little things that you needed to... you needed to like kind of defend for the glow Pikmin. And like especially like when it glows like this like kind of greenish yellow. Just yellow, so. I guess. But like this is like more of like a tennis ball yellow, and this is just I don't know yellow, but it just looks like that.
It does look pretty similar.
Just thought that was funny. They both look like anthills. Like I don't know. The Tri activates it presumably, and then you have the world map. And again, Breath of the Wild influence. You have that Heart Lake.
Mm-hmm.
Just like in Breath of the Wild, in the mountainy, southern mountainous region of Hyrule. And you also have like kind of like you can see the rifts on the map. Yeah. So these are places that you have access to the dark world or whatever. I forget what it's called, Rift World. And presumably you're going to be closing them throughout the game. But yeah, so you can see where you need to go essentially on the map. Especially since this game seems like it's going to be somewhat open world-ish, with you being able to just run around wherever.
Open enough world.
Yeah. No fall damage, because that was really high.
I was going to say, I'm actually a little surprised that they were just like, no fall damage. I'm like, that was quite a jump.
They did not take that from Breath of the Wild, thankfully. And horses.
Yay, it's not Epona, even though assumedly you do get Epona, I'm guessing.
Probably.
But the other thing that's interesting is beyond the traveling part is that there's other horses.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just like a mainstay horse that you probably do name, but
Yeah,
it seems like you can go get new horses, maybe with
and
its own stats.
and
Although I doubt it.
this kind of looks like the mini game from Ocarina of Time, where you're running the horse around the stable in order to free
Yeah.
it. So Epona around the stable. So like this might be like a stable or something like that. The red roof barn or something like that. Beach. I don't know what the point is.
When you drop it, the horse.
Oh, that's right. I remember now.
That's how
Yeah.
you summon the horse.
That's right.
Also, this beach looks very Animal Crossing like. Even the shell on the floor makes me want to pick it up and sell it.
Yeah. I can see that. This little guy selling smoothies. Smoothies is going to be a whole mechanic, apparently. Like,
yeah, instead of cooking, you make smoothies.
it's just fun. Like, Nintendo always has to have like a weird little thing in every game. Every game's like, yeah, this is a Zelda game, but then this is Zelda game's like weird little thing, you know. And this one, it's smoothies, I guess. Why smoothies? That's such a weird thing. It's just really funny in my head. Like, why
Can
smoothies?
I also can we just throw out there that you were about to make a smoothie out of a seahorse?
Yeah, what? And a cactus?
Isn't that the cactus is one thing, but you were just about to throw in seafood to make some smoothies.
It's a gross smoothie.
He looks alive.
Yeah. It's got little eyes. Okay, well,
sure.
But also, since we saw what was potentially weather effects with Zelda overheating in the desert, seeing these chilies again, like in a thing, like basically a cooking mechanic, makes you think that you're going to be able to have like a chill resistant like smoothies, so that way you don't lose hearts or something in the cold, just like Breath of the Wild. Especially since we have an electro apple here, presumably this is going to be like a resistance to electricity.
They're really creative with their names. I mean, just on
Electro
point.
Apple.
There's no way I can mistake what that thing's gonna do.
Yeah, exactly. So this is like probably some sort of chili or something like that.
Hot chili.
Yeah, to create a chili smoothie, I guess. Why smoothies? I don't know. It's just funny. It's really funny to me. Something to dump some rupees into, also. So
yeah, we do need a reason to spend rupees because I don't know if that's your experience, but there's a lot of Zelda games where the rupees don't really matter all too much. They just get stockpiled.
I just have the maximum wallet size for most of the game.
Yeah.
So there's something to dump some rupees into. If you're gonna go into you're gonna go into the Gerudo area in the future, then make some weather resistant smoothies. Zora Flipper. So this is probably what allows you to swim.
Yeah, probably underwater, I'd imagine.
Yeah. Different items. There's Zora Fins. You can swim faster. Okay. So you can just swim still, but swim faster while wearing them. All right.
And there is a mechanic of the game that actually can change the outfit of Zelda. Mm-hmm. So similar to Breath of the Wild, where we can actually have a customizable Zelda.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Also, fishing poles, fishing mechanic maybe. Finally getting fishing minigames back. But also you can just buy these seahorses. Oh, what?
I just realized you're right. There wasn't a fishing mechanic in the recent Zelda games.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I think every game, especially mainline games since Ocarina, maybe before, I'm not even sure. Ocarina had fishing. Twilight Princess, I believe, had fishing.
I'm trying to remember.
Most certainly did.
Twilight Princess did, but Majora's Mask did.
I thought Wind Waker had something. It was. I don't
Wind
think
Waker
it was
had
fishing per se,
but you had that claw on the boat.
Yeah,
basically fishing. So yeah, return to fishing maybe. This looks very just like the menus with like it being on the top, using L and R to switch between them. It's Breath of the Wild. It's just
Although I will say, based on the clothing in the little UI that it has opened up, that's an accessory, and then there's clothing options. So I think it might not be as in detailed as as Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom in terms of your clothing. You know, your head, shoulders, or torso, and pants. I think it just might be the whole getup.
Yeah. So you have like a clothing option and an accessory option, basically separate. So it's still interesting. Like I feel like it's like this is Zelda's princess outfit.
Yeah.
And then this is her like on the run, like hiding, like the Hyrule guards can't see that no one can tell that you're Princess Zelda outfit. And this is like the Gerudo outfit, presumably. Presumably they have different effects. But then accessories just also like the Zora flippers, you can swim faster. This what was that? Zora scale. This is via secret Zora must be able to hold their breath for longer underwater. So there's already a diving mechanic.
Yeah, okay, so a natural dive mechanic.
Yeah.
I like that they bring the Zora scale, again, similar to previous games, like the silver and gold Zora scale from Ocarina.
Yeah. And it looks like it just adds another wheel, kind of.
Yep.
But yeah. And then Frog Ring is beautiful frog to jump higher. That's useful.
I wonder if it's a natural jump button or if it's more like you're up against a wall and you hold up and it just automatically jumps.
It says jump higher, which makes me think that you can already jump, and we see Zelda jumping in like throughout the last trailers too. So I feel like it's just you can jump 2 blocks instead of 1 or something.
Maybe.
Probably. Heart ring, heart appearance up. So it makes makes hearts appear more often. Okay.
Okay.
It's easy mode basically.
Yeah. That's another mechanic that I guess that is also coming back. Mm-hmm. Hearts in the grass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, different outfits, probably for different purposes. I wouldn't mind if it's just a aesthetic thing too. Bind. This is very Tears of the Kingdom also.
Yeah, now this is where it gets very tried and true.
Mm-hmm.
Just in a new way, though.
Yeah. I like using the glowfish and everything, but this just is Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. You can't break it, so what do? It's a new dungeon, so you have a new ability.
Yay!
Also, this has some interesting, like, kind of lore type things. Also, Tri can go inside of the things, and we see in a future gameplay showcase thing, not a trailer technically, but that Tri's friends or whatever are inside of objects, inside of like bosses and stuff. Mm-hmm. So the idea that Tri can go inside of objects and kind of allow Zelda to control them feels like reminiscent or like some kind of like, I don't know, lore type thing where they can possess objects or be trapped inside of objects. But since Tri has a person that can control, then she's actually able to come out.
Reminds me of Spirit Tracks. Zelda taking control of.
You're right. Yeah. Ghost Zelda. Yeah. So that's cool.
It doesn't look to be as freeform as the Ultra Hand. Like, it doesn't look like you attach it to yourself and then you can move it around stationary. It looks like it just mimics you. Yeah. So it's not quite the same, even though it looks very similar.
Yeah.
So I think they're able to design dungeons and other straightforward ways of solving puzzles around this mechanic, which is, in my opinion, is nice. Because as much as it's nice to have some freeform ways of going about puzzles, there's also people will gravitate towards the cheesing the puzzles and the easiest way of doing the puzzle rather than just solving the puzzle.
Yeah. Luckily in this game, it seems like there's a lot of different ways to solve puzzles.
Yeah. Also,
this is just straight out of Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, that's just Ultra Hand picking it up.
Yeah. This is hilarious to me.
That reminds me of the Force Unleashed for like way back when, picking up stormtroopers and just holding them over the edge and just letting them go.
Been doing that in the Jedi games too. Jedi Survivor and Fallen Order, just push them off. It's like, no, I'm just not going to fight you. just go ahead.
I don't want to play with you anymore.
Yeah. This is cool.
This is cool.
Yeah.
it essentially this is like could be your main way of fighting. This could be my main way of fighting. It looks better than even the sword.
Yeah. Apparently, these snake enemies are called ropes. That's
a snake.
No, this is Patrick.
Yeah, you can also reverse the direction so you can follow it or it can follow you, like wherever you're buying to.
Yeah. Just follow this little bird around.
It looks so weird.
Yeah. Oh, this is probably how you get this cat or something. This is probably a side quest.
I wonder if you can control the bird or if you're like literally just along for the ride.
I think you're just along for the ride. Like, presumably, like if the way that I'm imagining this, at least, is that you need to help get this cat down. This kid is like trying to get his cat off this windmill. You have seen this bird fly in this circle or something. It's little thing, and so you bind yourself to the bird so that way when it flies over here, you can drop yourself and then rescue the cat. I'm assuming.
Yeah,
that's how I would program this side quest at least. So.
That's the video game gamer head.
Yeah.
Concoction.
Yeah, so that's probably something like this because this is obviously a side quest. It's right next to the bird. Yeah. Easy way to fast travel.
This was that other way that we were looking at in terms of climbing mountains.
Yeah. Pretty.
Interestingly enough, trees act more like cliffs than they do trees.
Mm-hmm.
You just kind of get on top of them.
Yeah. This is hilarious.
This one's funny. Just drop them in the hole.
And then I guess this is the one more thing at the end of the trailer.
Yeah.
Castletown
everyone's dying.
Yep. This happens late in the story. I imagine all of Castletown just gets eaten. Or this happens early in the trailer, and then you free Castletown, and that's how you're walking around Castletown earlier.
Yeah.
In the trailer? I don't know. But, yeah. To save Castletown.
And enemy blobs. Your dark minions.
Yeah.
Void monsters.
The Gerudo are trying to figure it out. This is probably like a part of the story where you're trying to help the Gerudo. Like, the Gerudo city is also getting attacked. The denizens of the Hyrule area. And then, this is cool. The yellow parts.
Able to not trophify you.
Mm-hmm. Either because Zelda is special or Tri is helping out.
I think it's more Tri.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the traversing.
Mm-hmm. And at this point, we had enough information, or fans had enough information to kind of go about kind of trying to piece together the map, like what the map looks like. This is from Reddit. This was it's not letting me scroll for some reason.
Someone's attempt at connecting the dots here.
Yeah, so it already looks very similar to the Link Between Worlds and the Link to the Past map, but they have the Link to the Past overworld map kind of pulled up here, and you can kind of see explicitly like these stones right here that we saw
very similar.
Right here. Castletown is to the left of those stones. There's a forest to the like kind of northwest of the town, and then you have the mountain ranges right just north of Hyrule Castle. It looks like pretty one for one. She's at this lake right now. Presumably Zelda is standing right here in particular, or like right here or something.
Yeah.
On this little peninsula here. So it's just very clearly one for one, kind of.
They're good comparisons. I think they'll probably take the map on the right and explode it if they haven't already. I know Link's Awakening or Link Between Worlds probably did very much the same.
Yeah.
So that's probably the route that they're going.
Change some stuff too, probably. Like this is a graveyard, but then it seems like there's an actual Kakariko village to the south. I guess that would be Death Mountain, and Death Mountain isn't on this map. So, or whatever, Elden Volcano, or whatever they're calling it in this game. But, so yeah, it is expanded then, because this doesn't include the volcano. Which, I think this is the actual overworld map that we saw from the trailer. And
it's a very small portion of it. You're just in that one corner.
Yeah, so this southern village, aka Southern Village, is probably towards the south of Hyrule. And sure enough, this lake here we see right here. So probably Southern Village is like right here or right here in the bottom of the map or something. But there was some amount of effort to this is from Astor on Twitter or X or whatever, trying to piece together parts of the map from other games, the mini maps that you saw throughout the last two trailers. This is probably roughly what it looks like when you compare like the original Link to the Past map. This is probably approximately what it looks like. Still kind of a guess, but it's actually probably pretty accurate.
I was going to say, that's a lot of work, and it looks like it's paying off, because I can very much see how all this is connecting.
Yeah, exactly. So, with the Hyrule Castle being right here, for example. So, yeah. Just interesting. We also got some information on the Echoes of Wisdom Amiibo compatibility. So, basically every, like, Zelda Amiibo, Zelda series Amiibo, so, like, all the Tears of the Kingdom ones, all of the like Skyward Sword and stuff amiibos, all the Zelda ones that had the base that had the Hyrule crest on it, that golden base, and even some of the Super Smash Brothers series amiibos also work. Like
if it's Zelda,
Toon Link
it
and
works.
Stuff. Yeah, if it's a Zelda character, it's probably fine.
I wonder what it does. They haven't showcased what amiibos actually do. It probably just gives you an item.
The official Japanese website apparently says that they will unlock useful items.
Yep.
As well as different colors of clothing.
Oh, see, something actually that I would like.
Yeah. So that's kind of cool. I have most of the Zelda amiibos. So I wonder... even like Bokoblin and Guardian and stuff work. So I wonder if each of them have their own outfits or something. Like if I get the Sheik outfit or something. I don't know. I'll let them walk around as like an Amiibo-inspired outfit or something. Or maybe some of them are weapons or like items like the Rider and Bow amiibos or something. But then like some of them are outfits, like the Zelda and Loftwing one could be like a Skyward Sword inspired color or something. Or
it could be as lame as you choose Mipha and a bunch of fish drop out of the sky.
Yeah. Could be something like that.
I'm looking at you, Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah. At least if I scanned in the Wolf-Link amiibo in Breath of the Wild, you get a little companion. But in Tears of the Kingdom,
that's cool.
Yeah. Oh, well. But we also got some information from the ESRB. This was before a recent trailer, which I think maybe kind of explains it. But the ESRB explicitly stated, as Link, the player uses a sword and arrows to defeat enemies. Zelda can use a magic wand to summon creatures. So as Link, it's just...
You can do the Link things.
Yeah, there is a Link is playable, ? I saw a lot of people speculating that could be confirmation that you're playing as Link for sections of the game, like maybe in the Dark World or something part of the game, and that you're playing as Zelda for the overworld portion. We know that's not true now, but I think that we have an explanation of why the ESRB is saying that we have the ability to play as Link now.
I think so too.
Yeah. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Link just is playable later on or something.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I would hope not, but maybe.
Yeah. We also have the Japanese website.
It's
Google...
up. It's live. It looks pretty good.
And
that looks more like Death Mountain, not Elden Volcano.
Yeah.
Don't care what it says.
Same deal, probably. Also, it's a more expanded version of the artwork that we saw earlier. We started to see this guy flying. We have a Zelda poster, a rope snake guy right here. Release date, some news. This is Google Translate, so take it with a grain of salt. But this is all the news that we've had so far. Story portion, wisdom portion, a world portion, and a still world portion. That's what it's called. Movie.
At first, I thought it was just being funny, like there's more world. Yeah, still world.
Yeah.
But
So
no, I
this,
guess that's what they're calling. I guess that's just what they're calling this void world, is just still world.
yeah. So we can go through the different sections of the app story. Again, this is Google Translate. If I can get that. Oh, well, it's not going to translate this, I guess. But it's just explaining that you're playing as Zelda this time, basically. Wisdom? I don't know what wisdom means.
It's probably all the try stuff you can do. Gotta be wise when fighting.
Karamono.
Is that what they're calling try? Or is that just the ability?
It might be. I don't know. I probably should have translated this or looked at translations for this beforehand. But this is obviously explaining the the copy ability essentially. And
Yeah, all the stuff that we just went over. Wow, look at all the different stuff.
A bear and a little fire thing, a jellyfish. Whatever this is, an anthill? A different kind of slime, and a slime. I like this. It's like a slug. I like it. A sign? This looks like a missile
looks
launcher.
Like a cannon.
Yeah, or something.
Lizalfo.
Yeah. It's just cool.
There's actually a lot of stuff here.
Yeah. A fish. Just a fish. The carrot summoned the horse. I don't know what the fish does. Maybe it summons
the Zora.
I need a Zora right now. Come on. Little spinning guys. Yeah. That's cool. That's most of what the website. Oh no. Let's scroll down. Yeah, just different uses.
There is a lot of images that they're showcasing here. I'm actually surprised by the amount of what they're actually showing off in all these different areas.
Pirate ships and stuff. Fighting sharks. That's kind of cool. Yeah. I like the idea that this is on the wisdom portion of the website, like /wisdom. And I've always been of the opinion, and I know that we've gone back and forth on this a lot too. Like we've kind of argued about this, but Zelda games to me have always felt like they are puzzle games disguised as adventure games. And I like that the Zelda game that is you're playing as Zelda just completely just literally even remove the ability to fight.
It's very, very, very much a puzzle game.
Yeah, and that's why it's Echoes of Wisdom, because Zelda is the incarnation or the
wise one.
Yeah, she's the wise one. She is the inheritor of the Triforce of Wisdom, and it is the wisdom portion of the website is showing the puzzly solutions for things, even puzzly approaches to combat and stuff like that. Like this is the wisdom. Like literally, you don't have courage. You don't have the courage part. You don't have the sword. You're not fighting. It's wisdom. This is the wisdom part. I like that idea. Like the Echoes of Wisdom. I think wisdom is in the name, even. So it's cool.
It's another look on a Zelda game where this is how Zelda would have traversed her game, her story.
It's like this isn't
it's very different.
A puzzle game like veiled as like a like pretending to be an adventure game. This is straight up just a puzzle game with adventure in it. Like literally there's no sword fighting adventure. Like no, it's just puzzles.
Well, we say that now.
Yeah. We'll get to that. But
I'd imagine if they made a Ganondorf game, it's literally just would be Hyrule Warriors of him just wiping the field.
Yeah,
exactly. Fighting.
It'd just be power. But also, I liked how they didn't even include the sword fighting aspects until future trailers. They really wanted it to sink in. Like this is like the wisdom game. This gonna be puzzles.
And it's not even in the wisdom tab.
Yeah, this is puzzles. You're puzzle solving here. So even like the traversal is a puzzle.
God,
like,
that's a lot. That's a lot faster. Yeah.
World. 330. 830 up. I don't know why I can't click on world. I can't click on the next part of the website. Okay, so they need to work on their website traversal a little bit, maybe. I can't.
Not like we can read it anyway.
Yeah, that's fair. Yay! Now we can see
All
stuff.
right, cool.
Yeah, just shows some mostly stuff that we saw in trailers. I don't know
A
if we
lot of
saw
it's
this in a
a
trailer.
lot of it's new.
Well, this is new. So yeah, okay. Yeah, just some areas describing some of the different places and traversal methods of the world, which is kind of cool.
I'm kind of thinking that Beetle's not going to be in the game, and he's replaced by the business scrub,
I think so too. Yeah,
which is
explaining more
unfortunate.
about
I don't even remember the last game Beetle hasn't been in.
some character bios, some new characters that we haven't seen before. So okay, King Hyrule, but this guy, I think that we saw him for a second in what we are assuming is Robbie's workshop. A Hyrule guard captain. I really wish that I could read Japanese. But we have this guy's name, I guess. This looks like Impa. I don't know enough about. I don't know enough katakana to figure out what this guy's name is. But yeah, some characters. And then we have the still world. Actually, hang on. If I go back and if I Kara 1, okay, or Kara 3. So if I just Kara 4. Darn. Okay. Whatever. Still world. So this is kind of a spoiler for the next trailer, I guess, but this is that guy that we saw falling into the abyss in an earlier trailer.
All the stone people now.
Yeah, statue people, even some Zora and stuff. You're traversing the still world.
It reminds me of the underbelly area of Tears of the Kingdom, where it's just like, hey, here's your hard zone.
Yeah.
Testing out your knowledge of the game.
Zelda is kind of... I was thinking about this. I was actually watching the Nintendo podcast, and they kind of pointed out, realized, I guess, that Zelda games always seem to have this duality to them. Like, maybe not the first couple, but ever since like a Link Between Worlds has the two worlds that you're going, or even before Link Between Worlds, Link to the Past had the two worlds you're going between, the Dark World and the Overworld, and then Link Between Worlds, the sequel to that, basically had the Low Rule and High Rule. You have even in Ocarina of Time, you have the past and the
young
future.
and old.
Yeah. Majora's Mask, you're switching between the different masks as like different play styles, essentially. You have Breath of the Wilds didn't really have that too much, but I think that the idea was that they were
doing a lot of new stuff with that game, so maybe that concept was a bit ambitious. But they continued that on into the next.
And I'm pretty confident that they had the Sky World as an idea in Breath of the Wild, because we kind of saw the beginnings of that, and then they just never actually followed through with it. They cut it for the DLC, which later became the second game. But anyways, it just, and also Tears of the Kingdom actually did follow through on that promise and had the two worlds, the overworld and underworld. So just all the Zelda games seem to have like this duality to them. The Oracle games have the two games in them. In Link to the Past, you're in the dream world. So it's just, you always have these double worlds. There's always the Twilight Princess, you have the Twilight Realm. Like, you know, there's always this dark world in it. It's just interesting. Like the future in the Ocarina of Time was also like a dark dystopian world. So,
and then here we see a little bit more of the, was it the Talus
enemy? Yeah, which tries friends are stuck inside or something. These look so freaky. I like the redheads. And yeah, the new sword fighter form. This is kind of a spoiler. I probably should have put this after we went over the last trailer, but whatever.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll still go through the trailer.
And here's the movie. Maybe I'll just edit this. I'll edit this portion.
Yeah, it's literally just the trailers we've been looking at. Oh, well, there's some different. Is that the one that we're about to get into?
Yes.
I think it is.
Yeah. This is the footage that we're about to see in a little bit. But yeah, so that's the info from the website, mostly just about those character portraits. We get to see like some new information on the characters, which is cool.
Yeah, it was actually quite a lot.
Yeah. And now we have the third trailer, the Into the Still World, A Journey Continued trailer, which is kind of cool. You see,
once again, we're back at Castletown, actually seeing it get engulfed.
mm-hmm. All stemming from the king's throne.
Interesting.
Yeah. And you see the king do something nice for Zelda for once and save her life.
No, Zelda, you must traverse into the void.
Yeah.
For me.
This is so freaky, seeing his eyes.
Just wide out.
Yeah.
Wide his eyes.
God. Turns into a statue and then like...
Actually, so did that other lady.
Yeah, these two characters.
Person.
Yeah, these are both of the characters that we saw on the website. This guy, captain of the guard or whatever, and then this person in Robbie's workshop.
I wonder if this is kind of like the first dungeon or so of the game. Is freeing Castletown, because I feel like they wouldn't just take these characters out super early after displaying them as like, oh, these are characters you're going to be interacting with. I'm like, what, for have like 3 speech bubbles?
And this one specifically appeared in other trailers.
Yeah.
So I assume, that you're right. But the eyes. Ugh, it's so freaky.
Oh.
Ugh.
Yeah.
It gives me the heebie-jeebies. Like, I don't know. Going through the world.
It's fun to kind of like look into it, and it's just kind of like this different dimension vibe, and it doesn't even care what geometry it's on. It's just gateway.
It's just taking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like halfway through some geometry. Leaves still in the other world. And then you're in the still world, which this is super cool. This is also like kind of like the other side of the artwork that we saw earlier, the box art, presumably the box art. But also we have a
Lionel.
We have a Lionel right here, which is cool. Yeah, this is. I thought this was Link at first, but it's not. I think that's just a guard.
I think that's just a guard.
Yeah. Yeah. So presumably you get to fight some like Hyrule guards that are like corrupted shadow versions of themselves or something.
And all the area is just haphazardly thrown around, which is what I was saying earlier about the, it looks a little freaky to just have random items that Zelda can pull out in the overworld. But in here, it makes sense.
Yeah, because there's already just trees floating around and stuff.
Yeah, so what's a better too?
Yeah. But also we see this kind of blob thing flying around, which we saw in an earlier trailer enemies spawn from. Shadow enemies. And then we see this guy, who we saw get swallowed. People get pulled into the rifts. They kind of petrify and can't move anymore. They stay that way. They'll eventually fade away just forever. So presumably we're saving these guys like in the still world. We'll recomplete the area and then they'll be saved or something. Also, this is very Pokemon Platinum, the Giratina dimension. You're like traversing it in weird ways.
It reminds me of
sideways.
It's just not like a. It's not like a. Visually, I wouldn't think of doing that.
Mm-hmm. Or also,
it just looks weird.
Mario Odyssey had some sections where you go into this like alternate world for a second, and then you have these platforms that are on their sides and buildings and stuff that are flipped around and rotating.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's just kind of cool. A ladder going down to more abyss. Somewhere. Or maybe this is a way to... Maybe only this part is in the abyss, and maybe the other side is still in the overworld, so you can go back into the overworld or something.
Maybe it's the business scrub in there. Just mid-dungeon item picking.
Yeah, he's like, my front door just got absorbed into this world.
Somehow I'm fine, but I'm here to sell barters and wares.
Yeah. You want a smoothie? So you're in the southern ruins. This is the southern part of the map, most likely. This is a full dungeon.
Yeah.
An actual Zelda dungeon, which is
like a whole legacy dungeon.
Yeah. Ever since Breath of the Wild, we haven't had these kind of dungeons back again. That's cool. Like the fire physics, like that's how you like this area, this little
carry
thing.
Over.
Yeah, that's cool. Figure out how to solve the puzzles in various ways. fighting the Talos. Try's enemies are kind of like stuck in, or Try's friends rather, are stuck in here, and you have to save them.
I like the taunt. Just have a bed on the side to let my minions do the work, and I take a rest.
And I like this take on like these are the sand sharks, but now you don't have to worry about them like in a 2D sense, but in a 1D like just being able to jump around them sense. Like this reimagining enemies to work in different ways. So they're on a wall now, kind of swimming. Like it just changes
purposely
everything.
Put these in for 2D environmental sections.
Yeah, it's like reimagining, like almost platformer. Like this is weird. A floating platform. You can just copy those from dungeons. I don't know. That's super funny. Copy tornadoes. It's just cool.
Yeah.
Different takes on that. And then here we go.
Here is the Link, but not Link.
Yeah, so people were saying that's was as Link, the ESRB thing.
I wonder if that's just an issue of like the people at the ESRB kind of like looking at it, not necessarily knowing, but they do know someone's throwing around with a sword, so they're like, "Oh, it's Link."
Also, we haven't seen arrows in the trailer though, I think. So just as Link, but then this also like isn't Link. It's wearing Link's tunic, but this is Zelda's tiara. This is Zelda.
It's definitely Zelda just taking on the qualities and sword fighting skills of Link for a short time.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think what might happen, and this might happen like later, either halfway or mostly through the game, is maybe you do get access to Link either as Link himself, or you can like copy Link in the way that you can copy enemies.
Mm-hmm. Also, that sword isn't the same as Link's sword. It has the swirl on one side, but then this other side is
not swirly.
And then this side is double swirls.
So it's not Link's sword. It's also not the Master Sword. So
it could have been a redesign. Like this is the earlier trailer, and then they went in later and then redesigned it. They have the freedom to do that. Like I mentioned, the world already seemed like mostly already complete. It was in like pretty like beta level, 90 to 95% of the map. The world was done. So they're in QA phase. They've been in QA ever since they did the announcement trailer. But also they kind of had the freedom to redo some of the art, presumably, and that could be why the sword looks different.
Yeah, maybe they wanted to differentiate it a little bit more from the Master Sword.
Mm-hmm.
Because the swirlies are going down on her sword right there. And I believe the swirlies are going up on Link's sword in the original. So even the direction has changed. So I think it might be a design change to differentiate. Oh, no. Well,
no, they're down.
Goes up.
Yeah. It's just a different sword.
Yeah. It might be a design choice just to differentiate it from the Master Sword. Yeah, it's not going up, though. If you look at...
They're at like a 45-degree angle here, whereas they are flush with the blade here, yeah. So I don't know, again, that could be a sword redesign. It could be the same sword.
It could be just a different sword.
Or, this is Zelda's sword in her form. Because this is Zelda, the tiara and everything.
Yeah.
Eyelashes, eyebrows.
I wonder if the Master Sword will even make an appearance in this game.
Probably not. I wouldn't mind if it doesn't. It's fine.
No, I know. There's been games where the Master Sword wasn't in there.
Mm-hmm. So you're using the... I don't know. I want to say Triforce of Courage, but then it's blue glowing, so it's Triforce of Wisdom still. Yeah, I like how you have the swirls still.
Yeah, but the swirls themselves are coming off of her. It looks to be very much tied to the sword itself.
Yeah, because you get the sword right here.
Yeah, and then you do the transfer. It had nothing to do with Tri from the looks of it. It had everything to do with whatever the sword was up to.
I like how it's explicitly not the Master Sword.
Yeah, the mysterious sword. Although they've done that before, where they're like, "Oh, look, it's not the Master Sword. Oh, but it turns into the Master Sword."
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking of Skyward Sword.
Yeah. But this also reminds me of like Fi.
Yeah.
Like kind of
fun.
Blue glow coming out of the not Master Sword, and then giving her the sword fighter ability. I don't know. But this is the sword's magic, you're right. But then, yeah, the sword that seals the darkness, the light sword, right?
It's the sword of evil's bane.
And you're destroying the things. So
yeah, it's the master. If they don't make it the master sword, that'll be weird. It's basically the master sword.
Yeah, because that's how you're breaking the dark, gooey things. So, I don't know. Whatever. It's basically the master sword. It's fine. We don't have to think about it that closely. It's okay.
No.
I don't think that they want us to think about it that closely. But yeah, so there's a limit. There's a gauge to you being able to like use the ability. Which is something interesting. I noticed in the UI earlier. There's a huge gap between the hearts and the UI.
Well, now we know why.
Yeah. Right. Well, at some points, there's a big gap here in the UI. But now there's another gauge there, so that's why. But also,
and it's a level 1, so I wonder how high that goes and what that does. Does it just increase the length of time, or does it increase the damage while you're in it? I don't know what that level means.
Because they want you to not be doing this all the time, they want you to be able to like use Zelda's copy ability, and that's the primary combat way to do combat. And you can only ever recharge this in the still world also.
Yeah.
So this is going to be very infrequent. Like you save it up for special occasions kind of thing.
For a big moment, or like you're put into the corner and you need a get out of jail free card or something.
Yeah. So I imagine that it isn't going to be longer. It's not going to get like a longer gauge or something. It's going to be a getting stronger, which could be why the ESRB says using a sword and arrows to defeat enemy. It could be that this gets upgraded every time you go into the still world. So level 1, and then you get level 2, which maybe does more damage or something, or maybe the sword transforms, or maybe you get that sword. Items. Yeah, get more items. You get the sword beam ability, maybe if you're on full hearts, and you get the bow and arrow. Because Link is using a bow and arrow in the first trailer. Anyways, he has which
looks very much like
the sword.
The sword.
Yeah. Has the same swirlies on it that we mentioned earlier in this video. But that could be how he gets the arrows, or she gets the arrows. Or Link. Yeah, I don't know, whatever.
It depends on what they saw. What did they see when they were rating this? I'm like, did they actually see Link? Or do I feel like these people are competent enough to know the difference?
To me, they probably saw Zelda running around in the overworld in Link's tunic, and they were like, oh, that's Link.
Oh, look, Link.
Yeah. So as Link, you're going to be able to do this. That's what I think.
That's what I think, too.
I don't know. Or maybe Link does show up later. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe at the end of the game, once you free Link, maybe you're switching between the two during a timed running section or something.
Like at the end of the game, you're trying to escape Ganon's castle, like in Ocarina, you could actually do a switcheroo. And because you were playing as him, per se, through Zelda, you already know.
You know the mechanics.
You know his mechanics. That would actually be a really cool, last-ditch end-of-fight effort where you can control both of them.
Yeah, and it's no longer a timed thing. You only have the sword fighter form for a short amount of time. You're actually genuinely switching between Link and Zelda. For that,
that'd be kind of a cool. I would only do it at the very end of the game, though.
Yeah,
exactly. To fight the final boss, but not for most of the other game.
Exactly.
For the rest of the game.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, and this is how you collect the energy for that ability. I guess that's only in the still world. Which they're really trying to make sure that you.
It fills up a lot.
It does.
Just by collecting that one, I was like, oh, that was a lot.
Basically, you go into the still world for a little while. You're gonna leave with a full gauge, but they really don't want you to use this ability that often because you can only recharge it in the still world. And we get some info on some NPCs. Dompe returns.
Yep, and he's switching job roles.
He's not a grave digger anymore. He's a inventor,
engineer
or something. I don't know why he's wearing a hair tie. He's bald, but whatever. You do you, Dumpe. Got a massive wrench. And yeah, we saw this in the first trailer. These little mechanical creations that you can do. These come from Dumpe. I like this little blob singing musical notes, terrorizing wolves. You can create your own.
And you can't copy
scrubs.
these. These are just, I'm imagining, or maybe you can copy them. I'm not sure.
These little guys, they remind me of like the ghosts from Luigi's Mansion.
Oh yeah, from 2.
Um,
Luigi's Mansion 2. The first one had the green. No, it didn't have the green guys.
These guys,
not those ones specifically.
Dark
those
Moon,
ones are from.
This was
yeah,
too.
those are from the second one.
I don't know. It just feels very not Zelda to me. I don't know. It just looks very Luigi's Mansion kind of. I don't know.
It
yeah, it's cool. That's fine.
Chestnut Man.
Chestnut Man? Is he a Chestnut Man?
Yeah.
Oh, he's got a little chestnut head. Yeah. Gathering acorns, Acorn Man.
Oh.
So presumably this is the the Korok seed kind of collectathon. Late game, you have stuff to do still, all the collectibles kind of.
I hope it's not so much though.
You're just collecting a bunch of acorns. We're gonna find.
I hope it's 120 and nothing more than that.
I hope it's 1200.
I don't.
No, maybe not 1200. Tears of the Kingdom having 1000 was a lot. 900 was a lot.
Yeah.
Ready to get 900 acorns to give to this guy. Okay, a sword fighting dojo. So this is like, again, this happens a lot in Zelda games. The sword fighting dojo, his sword is like shining or whatever. But
like Wind Waker.
I'm assuming this is how you are able to train with the get new abilities, like the charge, spinning attack or something. Or I don't know. It's hard for me to figure out because Zelda isn't a sword fighter. What the purpose of this dojo is. But then he has like a boss key emblem on his pillow, it looks like.
That's maybe it's just a sign. And so does that guy. It might just be the sign of his dojo.
Yeah. Yeah. So
this also could just be like a side quest.
Yeah. But
where you go in and you battle them a few times to get something.
It's saying a new recruit makes me think that it's a whole thing, though. Like, you're going to keep coming back. I don't know, maybe not. Like a class, like you're reattending, you're going back all the time throughout the game. I don't know. This is at least late enough to where you have the sword fighter ability, though, because it's right here.
Yeah, you already have it.
Yeah. Also, it's... we'll get to it later, but... yeah. Gliding guy, a stamp guy?
I think that gliding guy is going to be the way that you open up your map. Like you summon him, he gives you the map, he flies. He's Tingle.
It's Tingle
from Majora's Mask.
Yeah, okay. Stamps. He's flying, so he's like stamping down with the ground. I don't know. The stamp. It's interesting. Garuda. I like the Garuda Queen here. Looks so cool.
She has like fire hair.
Yeah, like the fire hair. And then some other Gerudo character. She doesn't have the spears like the other Gerudo warriors, so presumably this is like another main character kind of. Same with this girl. I don't know. I like this guy. I like his little hair. All the Gerudos, when Gerudos have hair, it's just funny to me. The
Great Fairy's very different.
Great Fairies are way more safe for work.
Yeah. Yes. We've seen a lot of different renditions of Great Fairies, and so far this one has been the most innocent.
Yeah. The least endowed, definitely. Yeah.
Oh.
Ooh. So you get to fight those guys.
It makes me think of Zelda 2.
Zelda 2.
Like on the NES, you know, like the overworld, when you hit an enemy, you actually go into the battle. Like, it looks like the battle doesn't start until like you actually get hit by the blob.
Yeah, so you can run away from it. And then, oh no, you got hit. Now the battle starts. Interesting. Huh. And then these guys are just appearing in Castletown, so you're helping defend Castletown. That could be the part where you save Castletown, probably.
Yeah.
Love this.
This is the game-breaking Game Shark.
Yeah. Okay, and then also a freezing area. So you need to heat. You need to make a spicy smoothie or something. Spicy smoothie which is ironic because smoothies are cold, but I don't know.
Cayenne smoothie.
Cayenne pepper smoothie.
That's so weird to look at. You're trying to go sideways.
I know. I kind of like it.
It goes against my natural intuition.
It's a 2D
visually
platformer Zelda. It's like Zelda 2. I love this.
Call back to Wind Waker.
Yeah. So okay, that's kind of cool though. This is one that she summoned because there's a little triangle on it. So it gives like some stealth mechanics. The pots. Okay. Also. Okay, now this UI here. Show this now. So we have the sword fighter ability on the D-pad.
Mm-hmm.
You can use the creation ability using the right on the D-pad. Left is Dompe's shenanigans, his little gadgets. Down on the D-pad is unused.
We don't know.
That could be something. This is later in the game, so presumably smoothies are used by going into the menus. But like, X is how you pick it. This is how you pick which thing you're copying. She just copied a pot, makes sense. But down is unused. What do you think?
I mean, it could be, even though it doesn't have an icon, it could be like, because how do you sift through your items and inventories? For the Y, right?
Right here.
It could be that you hold. Well, do you hold Y or do you just press it?
Y, I'm assuming, is to create it, and then you go through it with this button with the right on the D-pad. That's how you use the copy ability. Oh no, this is probably how you use the copy ability. I don't know. No,
because I'm thinking, how do you sift through all the items? Yeah, I'm assuming you don't pause the game, and maybe that's what down is just to sift through all the items.
There's a gameplay reveal thing later. Some Zelda tubers got the chance to play it for an hour and a half, which we can probably explains a lot of our questions. But down is probably untaken still, though. To me, like there's no icon for it, and I'm assuming you're not just pressing only down to go through the different items either way. Especially there's like 3 different buttons here that could all denote like Tri-Rod's abilities. So I feel like down is just untaken here. So
could be something.
Could be like if you have the sword, maybe if this is Zelda, so it could be Sheik or something. Like a little kunai or something eventually, and you can transform into Sheik since you have the different outfits.
I'd be very disappointed if that turned out to be the bow.
Oh, it could be the bow. Yeah, Zelda is known for using a bow too. Bow and arrow.
Yeah, that's true. A light bow.
But then the ESRB thing said that as Link, players use sword and arrows. Zelda doesn't say anything about arrows, but specifically arrows are a Link thing. So I don't know. It's just interesting. There's a lot of questions with this UI, I guess. We just don't have the answers to right now. This is cool. Like it's completely different.
You're in the forest and it's wet and it's raining, so it's getting bigger.
Yeah. This little slime creature you created. I don't know. That's cool. Frog. Fairy.
Oh, poor fairy.
Okay, also this is
Hey, Volduga.
Yeah, he's back. This looks like it's some kind of like horse racing minigame. Time trial minigames kind of thing. It's cool.
Yeah.
The arrows on the ground, you're following the trail. And then what's his name's back? As a still world enemy. Yeah, this is in the still world. So or maybe this is like Elden Volcano. Elden Volcano gets gets
sucked
eaten,
up.
And so you're inside. Yeah.
And Volduga was already there, so naturally you're gonna fight him.
Yeah, but you're fighting him in the still world because that's where his boss arena was taken. I don't know, that's cool. That's a cool idea. I like it.
It's cool to see him come back. He's been in a lot of the games now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's that trailer. And then we have this is just like kind of a more like they do this for all the games, but there's some new info in here.
This is the multiple ways of completing the same tasks,
Yeah, this is the
same
Tangler.
puzzles.
This guy's a Tangler, I guess. And yeah, they're asking like, how did you get past this part? And they're twins, I guess. I think that's a good way. Are these famous guys? Are these?
I don't know. I don't recall.
Because I know that they have like Sabrina Carpenter and like Brie Larson and stuff. Like they've gotten
big names before.
Yeah, big names who are also like legitimately nerdy people. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, look at so like literally different people to have different approaches, even though they're twins. One guy likes cream, one guy likes sugar in his coffee. Different approaches.
That's a clever commercial.
Yeah, so really good, writing in this commercial. So they're like asking like overcoming obstacles in different ways. How'd you do this? I did it this way.
I did it the simple way.
Yeah. The different dogs, different colors, red and blue, like the Switch. They have different leashes. Good cinematography, just all around. The different colors of the Switch OLED. They each have the different Switch OLEDs. They're like yin and yang. They're wearing different colored, the same kind of shirts, but different colors. They're twins but opposites. Anyways, yeah, it's just interesting. You get to see like the different ways, like different approaches to solving the same puzzle. I imagine that the dungeons are going to be that way too. And this is the last thing that we have, probably the last thing that we'll have until the game is released, probably. Zeltic, this comes from Zeltic, his hands-on preview personally, but he got to play the game for like 80 minutes. And
yeah,
this was his... Sorry?
I was gonna say he got all the way up through the first dungeon.
Yes,
that's actually quite a lot.
Yeah. It's up to I'm imagining not the entire beginning of the game. I'm assuming they skipped some parts for the demo, but yeah, that's pretty cool. Different bosses and stuff. He's just kind of like discussing what all that he kind of experienced. You can see the bridge is broken down. This is a good visual indicator of like you need to solve this puzzle. Their bridge is broken. Good, just world design.
That bed's gonna be broken.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like it does so much for you.
Yeah. But if you're stuck, you can copy this table, I guess. But this is probably where the PAX demo started, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't have to go through everything, because a lot of it is stuff that we've seen before. But there are some interesting tidbits in here. Tri has different this reminds me a lot of Fi and Fi, how she had like specifically the different colored text bubble than everyone else in the game. Tri has this.
Give her like an ethereal
feel,
something outside the typical game.
Yeah, because it was just Fi and Girahim that had the different text bubbles, and same thing with Tri. Like she's a fairy kind of thing. Yeah. So why is to create the echoes? So that explains our earlier question, I guess. Why is to create the echoes? I don't know about cycling through the echoes. Yeah, this isn't, but
yep.
Yeah.
We even though we couldn't see it, we definitely knew it.
I know enough katakana, but so Zelda is
is a disguise.
Yeah, regular Zelda here. The king is speaking of executing you, the phony king. So this is the dark, shadowy king, presumably.
The king got taken, so a new king shows up.
Yeah, he's executing you. We need to leave and quickly. Stand out with your current attire. Wait, what did she say? So it brought you something to change into. That's the tunic, or not the tunic, the
hood.
Cloak. Yeah. He received a log. And this is the full map we see. So there we go. So yeah, if Link to the Past only took place in like this kind of portion, it got this far at least because there was the thief.
There was Death Mountain.
Thief Town. No, I don't believe so. But it ended right at this area.
We're talking about Link to the Past or Link Between Worlds?
A Link to the Past.
Okay.
And so this is kind of the area of the Link to the Past's map, this central part. So they expanded way past. So this is the desert, it looks like, which is the same as Breath of the Wild. This is that bayou kind of like Zora area, presumably. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah. It's not quite Breath of the Wild, obviously, because the mountain's not kind of where you think it would be.
Yeah.
Death Mountain.
Death Mountain would be over here.
But the Zoras, I think, are roughly where you'd expect them to be.
Yeah, on the eastern side of the map. But also, this is very Breath of the Wild with Gerudo Town being here and then having that oasis to the west, sorry, to the east of it, which we saw in an earlier trailer too. So yeah, it's just a more expanded version of Link to the Past. Mysterious Rifts, the Imposter King. So this is what we saw when Zelda was fighting the guards, and you're sneaking through the castle, trying to escape. It's kind of cool to get to bed. Pots. Instead of breaking pots, I like how they're so explicit about it. Made with love and care. Love and great effort.
Yeah, they don't want you breaking them.
Mm-hmm. That's funny. You can clone them and break those.
Well, watch what I'm about to do.
Yeah. It's just funny. So presumably this was a big part of the this is a like dungeon break thing was a big part of that demo. I'm assuming this is where the demo started, and it was a good like first half or so. You're making a break for it.
You're definitely doing a 2D zone.
Mm-hmm. This is the same thing
those
as
same mechanics and then apply them to just a 2D space.
Yeah, this is the same thing as a Link's Awakening, which they also approached in the remake. So Link's Awakening, they had 2D areas, but the way that they handled it was the mechanics were identical to the top-down portion, but they just had it to where whenever there was an elevator, or whenever you had to like raise an elevation, they just put the ladder sprites on the ground, and so it looks like you're climbing up, but you're actually just staying top-down view. This is a clever way of like not needing to program a 2D platforming section. But in Link's Awakening, the remake, they actually put in the effort to make it an actual 2D section, and they are copying that here, basically. Which is cool to see. Copying stuff. The spin ability looks like it's... Oh no, this is just Zelda's spin. That's not even a sword.
I was going to say, is that also an attack, or is it just something that she uses to swipe down those leaves?
R is spin. Or maybe just to stun the enemy, just like boomerangs and hook shots and stuff.
Yeah, maybe. Because she maybe on her own strength, she's not able to actually take out the enemy, but she can stun him.
Yeah, and cut down grass and some simple stuff. Okay. Presumably. Difficulty settings.
Hero difficulty.
I'm toggling that on right away.
Twice as much damage and no heart droppings.
Ooh, no hearts.
Wow.
Okay, that's kind
so
of...
that means when you go dungeon crawling, you got to be like prepared with the potions and stuff.
Yeah, that's a little extreme actually. It's kind of cool. I'm usually
also some accessory effects won't be applied. What do you mean?
Oh wait,
what do you mean?
That kind of sucks.
I guess that makes sense. If no hearts dropping, then that one accessory won't work at all.
But jumping twice as high still would, for example, probably, or swimming faster. Because
maybe they'll add fall damage.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool. But yeah, I'm not usually the type nowadays. Like now that I'm like turning 30 soon, like I haven't been playing games on harder difficulties as much because I have so many games. My backlog is massive.
Yeah,
like I can't be bothered. I need to get through the game. I want to enjoy it, but I don't want to enjoy the difficulty because I have other stuff to do. So
I think it's very game dependent. Like the games if was the game intended to be of that difficulty? Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking again, kind of like the Souls games where like you're eventually going to play Elden Ring. Mm-hmm. There isn't necessarily a difficulty setting, but there is like, how often are you going to summon, that sort of thing, where people
Right.
kind of like handicap themselves. Like, can you take on the boss yourself, or will you be forced to summon?
Dark Souls 2 is very famous for basically having an easy mode built in the way that if you just focus on magic and then summon people, and then you get a sword that actually scales with magic or with intelligence. So like you have your own kind of built-in easy mode, especially with the ring of the red eye or something like that too. So there's like different ways of like kind of like turning it into an easy mode.
Yeah, those games can be very cheesed.
Yeah.
You just have to know where to look.
With that, with games like Dark Souls, though, I don't see it as an easy mode. I see it as the game is unfair. And
the game is definitely unfair. And to be honest, like it's still a mechanic of the game. And I'm
exactly
even when I replayed the game and the DLC, there were still some bosses where I was just like, you know what? I'm summoning.
Yeah.
Partially because and I won't get too much into it for spoilers, but there is one boss specifically for when you do summon. There's a whole dialogue exposition during the fight that you would have missed otherwise. So I wouldn't say it's a bad thing to summon.
That happens in Dark Souls 3 also. There's an entire story that you can complete. There's like a bad ending or a good ending depending on if they die during that boss fight too.
Yeah.
So yeah. No, but anyways, I tend to nowadays actually go for like the story or easy modes in a lot of games, but I think this game I might want to try a harder mode, although if it removes some of the accessory effects, that feels like it's not as fun, but then you can change it in the menu. So I might just toggle it back and forth. I don't know. It's one of those things. I feel like in Zelda games, I want my Zelda games to be harder, like master mode and stuff.
You can always beat it once, then try it again on hero mode.
Yeah. Which that's kind of like when I went through Breath of the Wild and then the DLC came out with master mode, I kind of wished that the game launched like that because I wanted it. Because there was also like those flying Octoroks and stuff too. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, there was enemy types that would have been really fun to engage with on my first playthrough. Because I think Breath of the Wild and a lot of open world games kind of have this, but I think very much Breath of the Wild, I think your first playthrough is going to be hands down the best playthrough. The one that you're going to remember the most.
Yeah.
Because that's what's, that's the discovery mode. Then once everything's discovered, what the selling point of the game is done. So now it's more about, whatever else, other fun that you can have with it. But to kind of hold back enemy types to a master mode when it would have been really fun on a first go around.
Yeah, so I don't know. This game, I don't know. I'm torn kind of actually between doing a normal and a hero mode, but I don't know. It's cool to see different difficulty settings and that it's not just the enemies.
I'm just glad it's at the beginning. It's not like locked behind of beating the game first.
Yeah. Some combat. The Zols, I guess, not choo-choos. Caves. That's also like a Link to the Past kind of thing.
Yeah, very much so.
Link Between Worlds. Not different Zelda.
Her spinning reminds me of being a Deku in Majora's Mask.
Mm-hmm. I like the look around. Like you can use the R to like kind of look past the camera.
Yeah,
usually shows, which is cool. Especially for these games, the camera is usually so fixed on the character, like on the player. You have a little bit more options. I like that. Swim, you can just go straight into the water. It seems. So jump on the things, the plants to break them. It's interesting.
That's weird.
Yeah. But you can just go straight into the water and then just start swimming. So that's not a thing to unlock. You're just able to swim and then dive.
And you're even able to dive.
Yeah. Some verticality to it. Heart containers that work the same way as previous games, which is cool. Little town, Southern Village. This is the village that Link comes from.
Oh, really?
Yes. And it's usually very nice here, but things are terrible. He mentions how all the denizens are all like talking about Link the entire time, and Zelda doesn't know who Link is. So this is not a direct sequel to A Link's Awakening or anything, or even a Link to the Past or anything, or A Link Between Worlds. I'm assuming probably, but this is just its own Link in its own
new Zelda, new Link.
Mm-hmm.
Link heard the call to go rescue the princess because, of course, he did, and then shenanigans happened.
Yeah. So that's cool. Go into the wells. This guy, that cloak looks just like Link's. Those cloaks are trendy right now or something. But it's just, I don't know. It's funny. This guy is like, I need help. Someone, please help. Can you please help us? And he's like, oh, nice fashion. Look at this.
Yeah, I really appreciate your drip there.
Yeah, what am I doing? Yeah, but his wife just got swallowed. Oh my god, man. Her name is just Wife. My wife got swallowed. Wife. He doesn't know her name. My gosh. If only Link were here. Who's Link?
Yeah.
That's just what?
Well, yeah. If that was their first meeting, she just saw some green cloaked man show up and then get bodied and then leave.
I think it was Dorkly or something had a skit once where you're Link saving Zelda, and then Zelda's boyfriend shows up. Like, oh, thanks, man. Thanks for saving my girl. It's like, yeah, like, as far as she's aware, you're just some kid.
You're just a dude. Showed up.
This is Link's house. You see his little cap.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wait, does he have a spare cap?
I guess so. And a little carving, just like in...
Is that a cuckoo?
I think it's an owl.
Oh, okay.
And,
little Easter eggs everywhere.
Yeah. And just like how he used to carve, like, chisel wood in a few games, actually. But I think it started in... or at least was shown in... why am I blanking on the name? The first Zelda game, canonically.
Skyward Sword?
Skyward Sword, thank you. Yeah, in Skyward Sword, he carves stuff, and then in Tears of the Kingdom, it also shows some carvings and stuff in their house. But, yeah. Also, he has some pots, and you can... Yeah, interesting. Fascinating. Link has pots, and you can break his pots to get revenge. The Hyrule denizens can get... I like how it's like, she's about to leave, like, Zeltic roleplay this. He's about to leave. Like, no.
We have to.
Yeah. Break Link's pots this time. It's super open world. Like, just even the southern area isn't just the town. It's also like there's a prairie and a forest and different areas. It's a dungeon, the southern dungeon. Like, it's cool. The little Pikmin 4 thing. Just the guy freaking out about his wife.
Even Tri looks kind of like a Pikmin at certain angles.
She does. Eyes. She looks like a glow Pikmin. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting. This looks like Arbiter's Grounds or something, maybe? I don't know.
Is that a lock-on feature?
Yeah, Z targeting.
They have Z targeting.
Mm-hmm. Which I think will, as the only way to make this combat feel good, probably, because
I'm okay with it. Don't get me wrong. I hate missing just because
exactly
the enemy is in that weird direction.
And I think he states that when you have enemy echoes around, then you can, whatever your Z targeting is the target that they're gonna target on.
That's nice.
Yeah, so you can pick what they are attacking. That's the way to do that. He did a little spin there. But then this is specifically a fairy bottle. Not... You can't use the bottle. Yeah, you can't use it for other things, which makes me think that you can have as many smoothies as you want. You can't just have, like, 4 smoothies with you or something. Like, you can have, like... Just make as many smoothies as you want. Just spend all of your rupees. And then the bottles are specifically only for fairies. You're not putting water or milk or something in them. So that's cool. And then
or bugs.
Yeah, or bugs or whatever. It says fairies love these sturdy bottles and will jump right inside. That's a way to explain. Well, so he says later he did actually find a fairy in a fountain, and then he didn't even need to catch it, like press a button to swipe. It just, you walk up to it and then you had the fairy in the bottle. But it's just funny, like this is a way to kind of humanize the fairies a bit and give them some free will compared to other games.
Retcon the crap that you did to them in the previous games, including cook them.
Literally the last game. Yeah.
I don't know if I want to humanize my fairies because they taste so good.
Yeah. That's actually, especially since, okay, so you're supposed to think of Navi as like just this little glowing ball, and Tattle and the rest of them, Tattle and Tail. But like in the artwork for some of the games, in the Hyrule Compendium or the Hyrule Art Book or whatever, I have that one actually, the red one, the power one. In it, you actually get a close-up look on the fairies, and they are glowing balls, but inside those that's just kind of the light that's radiating off of them. They are little humanoid little people inside them.
Yeah, they're little fairies.
They're little
they're
people.
Like little Thumbelinas.
Yeah. And so that makes cooking them in Breath of the Wild so much more disturbing.
You're still doing it.
like, yeah, you're still doing it. In theory, Navi is just like a little fairy girl. But then you only see the ball because she's just so small, you know? But
so small and the light's so bright.
Yeah. But anyways. So yeah, they actually love the bottles in this game, apparently. Okay, so this is where you cycle through the so this is how you switch. You choose what echo. You pause for a second.
So it is just you have to pause the game.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna have that scroll wheel, kind of like Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom.
Even though
I hate that scroll wheel because it's actually not all that great.
In Tears of the Kingdom, it was really cumbersome because it was so
you have like
long.
100 items.
Yeah.
And you have to scroll through the whole list if you want to get to the bombs.
It was at least better when you only had 30 weapons, but with the items, it was a bit excessive. Yeah, no, this you have a full 2D, not just side-scrolling menu. But in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, it still paused the game for a sec while you're picking them. But I liked the look of it better, where it felt like you were still in combat because you're holding it for a second and then you're going.
Yeah.
But no, this is just a menu. Less action.
All right.
Less action, more wisdom.
Okay.
Yeah. So you have all your items. That's where the notebook is. The notebook, you have the items you can make smoothies out of, presumably. That's that whole thing. And then the actual item list. So you can have 4 fairy jars, probably. Unless this is for other stuff, too. I don't know.
Well, they have different sizes, so it's something on top might be the bottle, something below, it's smaller, maybe less important.
Yeah. And then these are in Majora's Mask, like these kind of like circle ones were the masks, or maybe these are like item.
Could it be the sword, the robot thing, and then whatever that third D-pad thing is? Well,
yeah.
because the
tri-rod, the tri-rod, yeah.
That's
these could be. I think in Ocarina they were the circle parts were the non-selectable gems, like the Goron Ruby and the Zora Sapphire and all that.
Yeah, it could just be placeholders for items you don't actually interact with.
Yeah, that could be it. Yeah, this is the fairy. He just jumped, and she just jumped into the bottle. A fairy jumped into your bottle.
Yay!
Yeah,
now cook it.
The fairy will automatically restore some parts if you run out. How nice. Now, let me just keep you prisoner for a little bit.
I don't recall putting air pockets in that.
Yeah. Also, like in this, the fairy looks like an actual little chibi fairy. Hang on.
Yeah, it looks. It's very small, but it does look like it has a body.
Yeah, the fairies this time look like little people with wings instead of just glowing orbs. There's a snake in the water. So, or a rope or whatever. So you have to be careful.
Wait.
Oh no,
okay,
that was
never mind.
that was a summon thing actually. A little triangle.
Okay.
Okay.
At first, I saw the triangle and I was like, "What? That's just there?" But I was like, "No, oh no, that's that. You're right. That's a snake."
Yeah. You summoned it. Heart pieces. We know that. Okay, this is cool. This is also very Breath of the Wild. So
kill the enemy. So when you kill the enemy,
Yeah.
the chest actually unlocks.
Yeah. Little enemy encampment, enemy base. Refreshing grapes. Use to recover hearts, but it's more effective when mixed into a drink. Okay, so that could be hero mode. Your hard mode, like you're able to find hearts like in the grass or anything, but there are other ways to recover hearts using consumables.
It'll treat the game more like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Because in those games, there's no hearts to pick up to recover. You'd have to use or eat.
Right.
And that's basically how you'd play the game with this game under hero mode.
Yeah. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's not too bad. Especially if there's no cap on how much you can create. To be honest. Like,
yeah.
If that's the case, then really I don't know if we really need the hearts to begin with. That's not the hard part.
Mm-hmm. So you have to fix the rifts around Hyrule to be able to get into places. Looks like the rift is blocking the door. It's like halfway eating the door. You can't just squeeze through half of the house, apparently. Wait, what was it? My role something?
My role is to mend?
My role is to mend rifts. I have lots of friends who do the same. We all work together fixing up rifts. Normally,
you gotta go do a dungeon.
Yeah, normally my friends fix them quickly, so it's weird that this is still here. I wonder if something happened to them. So these are like denizens or something of like the Sacred Realm, probably. These are like the Triforce incarnate pieces that are like
sages,
keeping,
but not sages.
Yeah, like these are like pieces. Well, the Sacred Realm is like where the Triforce lives, and humans aren't allowed there. Like living beings can't live there. But then it's this Triforce is still sentient because it picks people, and fairies are aware of the Sacred Realm. So like I presumably, so like these guys, little Tri-Fairies, are like things that are from the Sacred Realm, but are keeping the physical realm together or something. Maybe like have like this one piece.
Sure.
And that's Try's friend's whole purpose is to make sure that these rifts don't happen. They fix them quickly.
They also look like Lumas. That's the other thing.
Yeah. But it's an interesting take on a fairy. But there's like several of them. So my friends and the rest, when we find them, we can mend this rift quickly. And that's where we see like Try's friend was stuck.
See, they do have that.
And do have what?
Right there.
What?
The map, the scrolly wheel. You are able to use the scrolly wheel. So it isn't just pause.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, how do you do that?
I'm
assuming it's just holding right, like you were saying, on the one.
Yeah.
And then scrolling through X and Y.
That is how it is in Breath of the Wild, too.
Yeah, but I'm not seeing any notes saying that on the screen, like UI indicators, like X and A move the thing. I'm not seeing that.
Yeah.
But they do have that.
Yeah. He's not saying anything about it, but presumably that's correct. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
You just also have the ability to go in, just like in Breath of the Wild. That's how you can switch weapons too. So, okay. Jump into the rift. You got to play some Still World parts. And yeah, just like Zelda 2, but you can also kill it before. Oh, no, you can't. Oh, yeah. All right.
Weird.
Interesting. Save the people. What is this? Try says, getting closer to my friends. So you're in the rift.
Yeah. And they have, this is the Southern Ruins. Is this the overworld, or is this back in the Still World?
This looks like the still world. Looks like you just walked into a thing in the still world because you have all these like purple triangle VFX happening here. So the southern ruins have been taken into the
okay,
that world.
Basically. I was thinking with the fast travel, I was wondering if you go back in the still world, but then I'm like, well, once you complete the dungeon, that probably goes back into the overworld. So
right, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
just like how we saw the Elden volcano part also was in the still world, and that boss fight was also in the still world too. So yeah, I guess it's just your first at least time like going through these dungeons, you're going to be doing it in the still world probably, since that's at least the 2 dungeons that we're aware of both have still world elements in them. So this is pretty cool. We saw a lot of this stuff from just areas of the trailer. So boss keys also. So she teleported to the location.
Okay.
I like that. Like
a
kind of fly.
A little less backtracking.
Yeah, I like that kind of fly into the air and then fly back. So these are
probably... the dungeons are going to be a lot more traditional style, just based on having like a dungeon key, and maybe you won't. There'll probably be other small keys as well.
Yeah. I like just being able to summon some like things to climb up. That's really cool. Skulltulas probably. I'm assuming these are Skulltulas because the face.
They look like.
Yeah.
They look like they could be.
Yeah. That's cool. That's
there's another accessory.
Oh, is she getting her pieces back?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay. So you don't just have to wait for them to time out. Cool. So that's a cool way. Like you're linking yourself to one and then you're linking yourself to the other. Kind of cool. Dark Nuts. Or is that a Dark Nut? Yeah, Dark Nut. Return of Dark Nuts. In a 2D game. It's kind of cool. And then this
the
part.
Return of Link. But in bad form.
And I like how, again, she doesn't know who Link is. Is that
neither
the
does
person?
Try.
Yeah, neither does Try. Is that the person who fought the blue monster? They don't even know who Ganon is.
This Zelda is very uninformed.
Yeah. Look, she just got captured. She probably would not be informed about anything, honestly.
I feel like she would be informed of the history, though, or at least a history. Like, Zelda in Tears of Breath of the Wild was informed.
Yeah, you'd think that she'd at least know about Ganon, considering that he's a reoccurring threat in Hyrule's history. Like, has that not been written down once or twice or 5 times?
Yeah.
But, yeah, you're fighting, I think, technically not Dark Link, but Shadow Link is what is called in Zelda 2 and some other games. And this looks like it's not his color scheme isn't dark.
Yeah, it looks like it's just Link, just controlled.
Yeah. So I'm assuming the terminology here might be Shadow Link or something. Although at this point he's kind of darker. Presumably later in the fight he gets more and more evil or something. His dark power grows. And then he disappears. And it's like blob. The same way...
Oh, that's actually where you get the sword.
Yeah, and this is very similar to how Ganon died in the first trailer, leaving behind only his trident. Right? He goes blue and then leaves the trident behind. And that trident sticks around in the overworld.
Maybe there's actually a hidden boss that took over Ganon. Maybe Ganon is not necessarily the big baddie of this game.
I think it's just like how in Link to the Past, or not Link to the Past, in Link's Awakening, how he's basically like a memory of Ganon. Like, you're not fighting Ganon at any point. Ganon's not even the main bad guy or anything. It's the dream person. And so, like, literally, he just creates an echo of a demon that you've never met before. It's just it's weird. It's interesting. Like, you just created Ganon because evil. You know, he created an evil thing, evil demon. What's the most powerful evil demon? Ganon. And so that's kind of the same concept there, and that's why Ganon didn't die. It just poofed out of existence, the same way that Link just kind of poofed out of existence and left his weapon behind. So presumably that's how you get the sword, Link's sword.
Oh, yeah. Although it's interesting, the sword and the weapons get left behind, even though the rest of them don't.
Mm-hmm. So, like, this is where you just fought, like in that battle arena. But then this little 3 stone thing behind, like the middle stone, disappears, and you're able to progress to the dungeon at that point. That's that gooey part where you use the Sword of Evil's Bane light magic or whatever to break it. Mysterious sword. Transform. Defend your shield. So you have a shield and a sword. It just creates a shield also. By pressing and holding the Z. Jump higher than usual in this form. And you can hold down your sword for the spin attack. So you jump higher than usual. So that's probably what that accessory does. Like doubles the jump or something.
So it's interesting that even in this game, it's a Zelda game with a dedicated jump button.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. It's like one of the few games that have jump button. Mysterious might is growing around you. That's the little pieces that you use to recharge the sword form.
Wow, that recharges like a lot.
Yeah. It also drains quickly, actually.
Let's see. Yeah, it's fairly fast. But so you didn't gain it from there, but like the guys inside, like
they exploded into something.
It completely brought it all the way back up. I'm like, wow, that's a lot.
Yeah. That was 5 from that enemy and then 5 from the other, so that's 10. So that's max. Then I'm assuming that 10 equals max or something. That's your max, because she went from almost
that
0.
Or it might be a little bit more than max.
Maybe, yeah, that's true. Yeah, so only a few of these are gonna replenish it pretty substantially. But also, when you're using it, you only have it for a couple seconds, so it's it's only use in case of dire emergency.
I'm imagining you still get hurt normally for the mode.
I'm assuming, yeah. It's not invincibility. Monster fancy at monster parts. I think earlier we saw that you can make smoothies out of them, which is questionable, but okay.
Oh, I mean, what? And cooking the fairies isn't?
Yeah, that's fair. I guess in Breath of the Wild, we use the monster parts for elixirs and potions.
Yeah.
And that's basically what a smoothie is, kind of.
In a way.
Yeah. So I guess I can get it. I can see.
Yeah, so for the demo, it actually did. He was able to go all the way to
the dungeon boss, at least. Yeah. This is what Try's friends are stuck inside. This is the seismic talus.
Are you able to see whether or not Try's friend comes out? Or does the demo cut short?
I don't think so. So you're defeating it, and then that's it.
No.
That's all
he
showed, at least.
All right, Nintendo had that under wraps.
Yeah. So
that's a lot of hits.
Yeah. They don't want us to see Try's friends for some reason. Presumably they're just like maybe this one is like a purple version of Try or something, because purple talus or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Or maybe it's like the Triforce of Wisdom itself. Maybe that's why they're keeping it secret. I don't know. Why would they want to keep secret?
They probably don't want to see the name. Like, it's interesting that even though Try has a bunch of friends, her name is Try.
Yeah, like
Triforce.
Like
for the Triforce. Like, what are the other fairy things' names?
Yeah. Also, we only ever see Try have... I mean, to be fair, all the footage seems like it's been of early game stuff.
Yeah. But like she still only has 3 of the triangles.
Does that even throughout the dungeon too? Does she only have 3?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, so maybe. Okay, I was thinking maybe
this is very early on.
Yeah. Okay, I was thinking that maybe 4 was the max, and that you just started with 4. But no, you do get another probably after this dungeon or something.
You probably end off with like 7 or 8.
Yeah, because I was thinking there is like the Tetraforce theory, where the missing triangle in the middle of the Triforce is its own Triforce piece. It's like an upside down triangle, the Tetraforce. A lot of Zelda tubers talk about like the Tetraforce and the Tetraforce theory, and like being its own thing. And it's kind of sort of hinted at in some of the extra materials like outside of video game materials for Zelda 2. So I was thinking, okay, 4 triangles, that's the 3 Wisdom, Power, Courage, and then Tetraforce or something. But no, looks like I'm wrong. It's just three pieces of the Triforce. Presumably you beat this final boss, and then you get a heart piece and a triangle. I don't know. Maybe her friends are the triangle pieces?
Maybe, but she's not referencing the ones that she has now as friends, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Tri claims that her friends are inside the boss and gives the task of breaking them out. My friends, that creature, we got to get them out of there. Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, this is looking to be a fun game.
Mm-hmm.
I know my wife is very much looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
Her birthday's coming up, so she is going to be getting this.
Oh, awesome. Cool.
So, and I'll probably be sticking around and watching her do a playthrough of this game.
And then maybe do a hero mode playthrough yourself.
Maybe. We'll see depending on the games that are coming up, because like you, I have a backlog.
Yeah. Oh man.
And there are a couple games that, like Black Myth Wukong, I need to beat. Mm-hmm. And there is a new game also coming out, Warhammer, the Space Marines 2.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That I also want to pick up and play.
Okay, so maybe you won't play through this yourself, but
I probably won't play through this myself, but I will certainly watch and be with my wife playing this game.
Yeah.
So I will be involved in some way, shape, or form.
Cool. So that is essentially, I mean, we're only 2 weeks away from the game launching, but that is everything that we know about Echoes of Wisdom. And presumably that's the last information that we're going to get. I know that that Nintendo sometimes does release like a couple of like small 30-second trailers or so like every week leading up to a game release.
Yeah.
They have been known to do that. They did that for Breath of the Wild. They did that for Age of Calamity. They even did that for the Fire Emblem games and stuff. Just before a game comes out, like every week, the last couple of weeks, they'll do like a 30-second trailer. And some of those have some new information in them. But for the most part, it's just rehashes of stuff that we've already seen. So I'm assuming this is everything that we will know about this game until it launches.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think Nintendo's going to pull a fast one, at least not for this game.
No.
Like some major earth-shattering drop beforehand that gets people rushing to the stores to buy it or online.
I could see a launch trailer showing something, but at that point the game's out.
Yeah.
So, no, that's everything that we know. I'm excited for this game. It sounds like you're really excited to at least watch your wife play the game.
Mm-hmm. It's not like it's I've watched games be played before. If I know that my backlog's too big, I'm like, look, I'm just gonna watch someone play the game because there's no way realistically I'm gonna get to this game. So
yeah,
I'm still excited. I'm excited for other people to be excited, and I'm excited for my wife to be excited.
Now that we've recovered and had ourselves a little chat, what did you think?
Leave us a comment on YouTube and like the episode.
That really helps us out.
We're also on Twitter and Instagram at the Low HP Podcast if you want to reach out there.
And subscribe if you want to catch more of us on YouTube.
We're also on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Links in the show notes as always.